I will find mistakes in the lines of your face when you say my name. Because when this ends, I'll want someone to blame. Isn't that twisted? My love, isn't that twisted? My love, I am so twisted. My
Hello, everyone. This is the Theodore Shuba live stream. Hope you guys are enjoying your afternoon or your evening, wherever you are. Hope you guys are having a good day. My cat is knocking on the door because he wants his dinner or lunch. So let me feed the pussycat. Okay, hold on. Let me hold on. Let me play some non-copyrighted Russian music real quick. Hold on a second.
Are you all gangsters?
No, we are Russians.
Большие города, пустые поезда, ни берега, ни дна. Все начинать сначала. Холодная война. Вода. Он не сошел с ума. Ты ничего не знала. Полковнику никто не пишет. Полковника никто.
This is the Friday afternoon live stream. Hope you guys are having a good afternoon or evening, depending on wherever you are listening to this broadcast. Hope you guys have a good day, and let's have a fun stream. I was not able to make it last week, and I really didn't feel like streaming the week before that. So here I am. I always feel a little guilty skipping these streams, and sometimes I have to skip them because something comes up, but sometimes I just don't feel like doing it. But I guess that works for both of us because I get time to think of new ideas to convey to you guys, and you guys can take a break from listening to me. And in the midst of all that, miss watching me. Yeah, that's it. So let's get to your guys' comments. Hello, Kofteo. Pure Chopium official Erdogan fan meeting has begun, featuring elevator music. Ted, I finished those books about the Franco-Ottoman alliance. Man, so much knowledge. Well, let's talk about it. And if you want to get on this broadcast and talk to me with your voice, you don't have to show your face, but if you want to talk to me with your audible voice and tell me and to tell the audience about the things that you have learned about the Franco-Ottoman alliance, I think that would be a lot of fun. You dislike the French even more. Goodness. Any French people in the audience? I doubt it, but if you are out there, give us all a bonjour and a oui, mademoiselle. Whatever that means. It was last month since the last live stream. Has it been that long? Goodness. Stopping by to check in on DJ Ted. Hello, B Speech. Cool music, Ted. However, we've got bigger problems now, such as discussing the Ottomans. Hello, Zay. Pure Chopium says this is the Erdogan fan club. Fun anti-Ottoman stream. Lisa Leto. Hello. Arnold Schwartzen, whatever, says hello. Sweet Body Fit, hurrah, Friday live stream. My week is now complete. I'm glad to be of such entertaining value for you guys. So here we go. You guys can write to me your questions, comments, disagreements, whatever. And I'm going to give you guys some of my thoughts on the topics that I have been pondering upon this week. Pure Chopium, Turk want to be French so much they riot in body every year or so. I want to, but my parents are about to sleep and I don't want to disrupt them. Okay. Fair enough. There are ways that you can bypass your sleeping parents. You can always just go outside with your phone. That's possible. You can talk to me from your room and just speak with a low-toned voice. And if you speak close enough to the speakers, your voice will come out very clear. But if you don't want to do it, that's fine. That's your decision. Ottoman rugs. Here we go. Is my voice too loud? I think maybe I should distance my microphone. I think that's good. Let's see here. Hold on. How about now? Is my voice clear enough, or should I speak closer to the mic? I don't even know. Hold on. Let's lower down the aim a little bit, the gain. All right, how about that? I think that's good. I think we're good, right? I think that's a good voice. I think my voice is coming out clear. Let me know if you think some adjustments should be made. But I think OBS picks up the human voice a little bit better. It's good. The voice is good. Let me know if I need to be a little bit louder or if you think I should speak closer to the microphone. It's clear. Okay, I really need to work on my ability to calibrate my speaker system because I really don't know what the hell I'm doing, to be honest with you. I really don't. I don't know what I'm doing. I literally got this microphone in 2009. Okay, this is an ancient microphone, guys. Ancient 2009 microphone, guys. I bought this from Guitar Center. It is a Healy, and at that time, it was considered to be one of the best mics in the market. And here I am using it over a decade later. It's so crazy, guys. It is so crazy. It's so insane. You know what's crazy is I got this mic, okay? Man. Did I ever tell you guys the story of why I got this mic? Did I ever tell you guys the story? Did I ever give you guys the context in which I got this microphone? I don't think I have. If not, I'll tell you guys the story right now. I see these live streams as basically story time. That's how I see these live streams. I don't see these live streams as me, planning a lecture to give you guys, although that happens every stream. But I don't really plan on giving you guys lectures, right? I kind of just say to myself, damn, I think I'm going to talk about this. And then but I don't like to plan everything that I'm going to say. I just have a rough view of what I want to talk about, and then I just allow my mind to work naturally. So you guys haven't heard the story. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys the story of how I got this mic, when I got it, why did I get it. So the story of this mic, this is a Healy. What happened was, you see, when I was in high school, when I was in high school, my dream was to become a radio host. That was my dream. I wanted to be on the radio, and I didn't want to be Rush Limbaugh. I wanted to be Michael Savage. That was my thing, right? I wanted to be Michael Savage. I wanted to have the radio show for 3 hours every weekday, have people call in. I wanted to argue with people, and I wanted to make fun of people's positions, and I wanted to talk about culture and music and art. And what I loved so much about Michael Savage's style was that Michael Savage never just talked about politics. Rush Limbaugh just talks about politics. You listen to a Rush Limbaugh, he passed away. But when Limbaugh was on the radio and you were listening to him, Limbaugh would go on for hours just discussing whatever news articles he had at hand. So he would say, well, liberals are bad, and Democrats are bad, and this is what the libs are wanting to do, and this is what libs want to do, and this is what Democrats want to do, and blah, blah, blah. And he rarely ever really argued. I don't think he ever debated anybody. I don't think Limbaugh ever debated people. I think there was one time that Limbaugh debated a caller. I remember one time he debated some caller, and that was it. Like, he never debated anybody. He was kind of an echo chamber, which makes me wonder how the hell he got popular in the first place. I think the main reason why Limbaugh got popular was because he was the first guy to really start this idea of talk radio. I think he was just the pioneer behind it. It's like Coca-Cola, it's the first one. And so naturally, expectedly, inevitably, you're going to have a huge following. Michael Savage, on the other hand, he had 3 hours. Every episode was 3 hours with Michael Savage. So Michael Savage would mix current events with culture, art, music. And so in one section of the episode, he would be talking about what the Democrats did and what Hillary Clinton did and blah, 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 blah. Then he would start talking about food. He would start saying, well, last night I made a roasted duck and this is how I did it and blah, 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 blah. And I just love that. I absolutely loved that style of not making everything about politics or making everything about a particular current event or a plethora of current events, but looking at politics as a part of the human experience, as part of human existence. And in that light, seeing politics in a philosophical way, metaphysical way. So it's not just politics. It's politics as a reflection of culture. It's politics as a reflection of the human condition, as the state of humanity. And so in that light, in that paradigm, you start talking about the other things that reflect the human condition. You start talking about music. And Michael Savage would start talking about Mozart, and he would start talking about classical music and things like that. And that's what I loved. So I really, really enjoyed I really enjoyed Michael Savage's style. I loved it. Let's play some music here. Hold on. Dang it. Let's play. Can we get some Bach playing? I'm in the mood. I'm kind of in a Bach mood. But I just don't want to get copyrighted here. But I think we can do it. I think we're good. Because it's Bach, right? Like, who has a copyright on Bach? Is there a license on this thing? Can I play Bach non-copyrighted? Is that possible? No copyright? Who has a copyright? Bach, cello suite. I don't want 2 minutes of Bach. Dang it. That's so stupid. I don't know. I absolutely love this piece of music. It's so good. I don't know. If it's copyright, we'll find out. This piece of music is absolutely ingenious. We got this, right? I mean, it's so good, this music, guys. I just like, sometimes I feel like tearing up listening to it. It's so good. It's ingenious. The music is so, it has so much depth, so much quality. So, can you guys hear me clear enough? I think we're good. Let me see if I can play Bach a little bit. There we go. There's so much variation in this music that he just dips and slides and glides and he ebbs and he flows, and there's just so much emotion and depth in this music. But there's someone else that's really good. I love Mud in Mud Eye. But let's stick with Bach. I think we're good with Bach. Here we go. So, as I was saying, I really wanted to be a radio host. I really wanted to be a radio host. And I used to do radio interviews. That was my thing. I used to do radio interviews, and I did a lot of radio interviews. And one day I did a radio show, a radio interview. And it was the host was this conservative. He wasn't really a conservative. He was more like, let this piece finish. So I met this radio host. He interviewed me on his show, and he was a libertarian. He was a libertarian guy. And I did his show for maybe like 2 hours or something. And after the show was over, him and I talked. And he asked, I told him about my dream to be a radio host. I said, my dream is to be a radio host. I really want to be a radio host. So he said, would you like your own show? And I said, well, what do you mean? And he said, I'll give you a show. He said, I have a project in which I am starting a broadcasting network, and we're going to have different hosts, a network of different hosts, and each one is going to have their own show, and it'll be a lot of fun. And I said, are you serious? He says, I'm dead serious. And this guy had an audience, and he said, I'll give you a show. So I said, okay, what do I need to do? He goes, this is what you need to do. He said, you need to go to Guitar Center. He said, you need to go to Guitar Center and you need to buy yourself a Healy microphone. this microphone that I have here. And he said, you need to find yourself a sound mixer. And he gave me the brand that I should get. He says, buy yourself this sound mixer. And he told me, he gave me the names of some other parts that I need to get, some adapters and things like that. But the main things were the mic and the sound mixer. So I went to Guitar Center and I spent about $200 worth in radio equipment, a microphone and a sound mixer. And I got some little plugins, some adapters, things like that. Came back home, gave him a call. I said, I got everything. And he said, okay, basically plug it into your computer and let's do the show. And he said, your first episode is going to be on this day, this time, blah, 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 and have fun. So I was so excited. Here I was thinking that I was going to go live. I had the mic hooked up to the soundboard, and then the soundboard was, I'm trying to remember exactly how I was able to, so the soundboard was hooked up to the computer, and the computer that I had was, it was an Apple laptop, one of those early Apple laptops from 2008, 2009, something like that. And the way that it was hooked up was I had this little adapter. It looked kind of like a shrimp. And basically it was a headphone jack. And at the other end, it was a short headphone jack with a short wire. At the end of the wire, at one end of the wire was the jack. Just like, let me see if I can find it. So you had, the way it worked was you had the jack here. Here's the jack. And then on the other end, the wire would split into two separate wires. And this is basically what I used here. Let me see if I can show this to the camera. Hold on a second, guys. Oh, gosh. Let me see if I can... Oh, goodness. Here. This is what I had. This is the same adapter that I got from the Guitar Center. So here's the jack. Here is... Goodness me. Here's the jack. And then it split into two... The jack would end with these two holes. And then each hole for whatever wire you needed to use. So I was able to plug in two wires into this jack, plug the jack into the computer, and then the other two wires would be connected to the soundboard, and the soundboard was connected to the mic. Okay, whatever. It was a complete quagmire, and it was chaos. It wasn't very good. It wasn't very good at all. So anyway, I did my first episode. I did 3 hours of talking, and I set it up, right? I planned it all out. I was super excited. I had music. I had commentary. I was reading a lot of G.K. Chesterton, or some G.K. Chesterton, and I think I read some stuff from him, and I was just very creative, and I had all these ideas, and I thought that I was live on the radio. So the next day I did another episode, and the next day, and I just did like 3 episodes, right? 3 or 4 episodes. After about 3 or 4 episodes, this host wants to talk to me, and he starts going off about how I need to be very careful about my language. And he said, you got to be very careful about your language. You're using these words that I don't like, and the reason why I don't like them is because they can get you. Is because they can get you sued, he said. They can get you sued, and you can get sued. And I said, sue me? Who the hell is going to sue me? Now, here I am. I'm like 18 years old, right? And I was like, well, who the hell is going to sue me? I mean, what's going on? And he says, well, people can sue you for psychological damages, and they can sue you for this, and they can sue you for that. So you have to be very careful about what you say. And I said, well, I've done about 3 episodes already, and I've already said all these words that you're saying someone can sue me over, so what are you going to do? And he said, well, I'm probably just going to have to delete all those episodes. And he says, actually, Theodore, I'm going to tell you the truth right now. And I said, what? He said, there was no audience. He said, there is no audience. There was never any audience. I said, what do you mean? I said, we did the episodes. I got the mic. I got the sound mixer. I got the plug-in jacks and all this technical stuff. I said, I've been talking every day for 3 hours. What do you mean there is no audience? He said, there was never any audience. You were never on the air. I never broadcasted your voice. I said, why the hell not? He said, because I simply wanted to see how you would do certain things, how you would talk, and you were never connected to any radio show. You were literally talking to yourself for 3 hours every single day, these past 3 days. And I felt like my soul kind of just shriveled at that point. I felt devastated, and I felt used. To be honest with you, absolutely used. So after we ended that conversation, I never talked to him again. Never went on the show, never attempted to do a show, never did anything. And that mic that I bought, this microphone that I got, just went into the closet, collecting dust. And after a few weeks or a few months, this radio host contacted me, and he said, what happened to you? Where'd you go? And I didn't write this, but my manager at the time wrote him and said, you were kind of gone, and we didn't really want to communicate with you. And he said, well, I almost died from testicle cancer, he said. And we never responded to him, and that was it. So this microphone just was stuck in the closet. We put it in the closet, and we put the sound mixer in the closet, and that was the end of it. So I started doing YouTube. I was doing YouTube before that. I was doing YouTube when I was in high school. I started doing YouTube. My first YouTube video I did, I want to say when I was... It's kind of confusing. It was summer break between junior and senior year. That's when I started doing YouTube. And then I really started YouTubing when I was a senior in high school. I did my first viral video when I was a senior in high school. I did a video on the Founding Fathers and how the Founding Fathers would not have agreed with what these liberals are pushing and what they have been pushing for decades. And that video got over 100,000 views in a matter of days, or maybe like in a week or something. It got 100,000 views, and I was just like, wow, I was a senior high school student. But I started YouTubing continuously on and off for years, and I never used a microphone. I only just used the built-in microphone that the computer came with. And the first computer that I did a YouTube on was a used Toshiba that I bought for $200 on eBay. That was the first computer that I used for YouTube. And that laptop died in 2 months. 2 months after I bought it, it died, and it just was never able to awaken ever again after that. It just died into oblivion, and that was it. After high school, 2009, maybe late 2008, I got my first Apple, and then that's when I tried doing my first show, and that was a complete failure because there was no show. And I bought this mic, and I felt like I bought it for nothing. So I continued on doing my YouTubing without a mic because I felt like I didn't need it. And really, is a mic really necessary? A mic really isn't that necessary, right? A mic isn't necessary. It's not. I mean, a mic, a mic is necessary, right? But do you need to buy an external microphone? Do you need to buy a Healy? Do you need to buy a mic? No, you don't. When I was doing YouTube for the first time, I mean, I was in high school and I did a video about the founding fathers and I got over 100,000 views. And I was doing it with a piece of garbage Toshiba microphone that was built in the Toshiba laptop. I've done a lot of videos using the built-in laptop microphone that went viral. I did a video of me calling up 13 gay bakeries asking me to make me a cake that said gay marriage is wrong, and they all denied me service. I used a built-in mic. I didn't use OBS. I didn't use any sort of screen recorder. I didn't use a fancy schmancy camera. I didn't use a Healy or any sort of exterior or external microphone. I used the built-in microphone that came with the Apple laptop. That was it. Did my voice sound amazingly clear? No, but I was very understandable. I was definitely audible. And that video went viral. And I did a number of videos that went viral. I did a number of videos that got hundreds of thousands of views. Hell, I interviewed some former Yugoslav intelligence officer back in 2014, literally using a camcorder and just filming the screens. I didn't know anything about screen recording at that time. I didn't know about screen saving at that time. And he was talking to me about his experiences in the Balkans, the horrible experiences that he went through, the horrible things that he saw and the horrible things that he heard about. He's talking at me from my laptop. His voice is coming out of my laptop, built-in speaker system. And I'm filming him with the camcorder, so the camcorder is picking up his face, picking up the voice that's coming out of the laptop. Did it sound clear? No. I had to put subtitles. But you know what? It got hundreds of thousands of views. I've seen videos of people in their rooms. The room looks like shit. Everything's dusty, disorganized. There's like shitty wallpaper in the background, dimmed lights, terrible lighting, and it's being recorded with some cheap camera and a cheap voice recorder that's in the camera or in the computer that's being used. And it has, 90,000 views, 100,000 views. And it's like, is all this stuff, is the setup really, really necessary? The answer is, to a great extent, no, right? To a great extent, no, it's not. I think that if you have passion and if you have enthusiasm, just do it. Just do it. And I've seen people say things like, "Oh, well, I'll start a YouTube channel, but I first need to get a camera," or I'll do an interview with you, but I first need to get a camera and I first need to get a good mic. And when those people actually do what they said they wanted to do? Do you know when those people actually carry through with what they said they wanted to do? The answer is never. They never do it. They never do it, because the reason why they say, "I'm not going to do it until," is because they really don't want to do it. That's why they say that. That's why excuses don't ever work. I'm not procrastinating. I'm only waiting for this thing to happen so then I can carry through with the plan. Well, the reason why you're saying, "I'm not going to do it until," is because you don't want to do it. Simple as that. You don't want to do YouTube. You don't want to record yourself talking. And recording yourself talking in front of a screen, I'll be honest with you, yeah, it takes a little bit of courage. It doesn't take a lot of courage, but it takes a little bit of courage, right? It takes a little bit of moxie. It takes a little bit of nerve. It takes a little bit of these things, because there's something very unnatural about standing in front of a camera or sitting in front of a camera talking. Now, I've met people who had amazing personalities, great communicators, great at talking, funny, everything, super articulate. I've met very articulate people. And every time I have met these people, I would tell them the same thing. I would say, you need to start a YouTube channel. You need to just get your ass in front of the camera and just talk. And do you know how many of them actually do it? None. There are people out there with, I'm telling you guys, I have met people super good at communicating. Bomb. They can talk really well. They're fluid. They are articulate. They're smooth. They have passion. They have enthusiasm, right? When they're talking to their friends, when they're talking within their own social circles. But once you suggest to them the idea of talking in front of a camera, they sort of curl up. They recluse themselves from this idea. And you have people who are really good at talking in real life, but you put them in front of a camera and they're stumbling over their words. They're stuttering. They go blank. They have that deer in the headlights look. And it's not because they suck at talking in front of a camera. Everybody sucks at talking in front of a camera at one point, right? Like when you first begin, you suck at talking in front of a camera because you've never done it before. But after doing it so many times, you start building a habit and you become conditioned to it, and it becomes easier as the years go by. Repetition. So, it's like anything else. You have to continue doing it to get better at it. Some people are better at it than others. Some people pick up really early on how to talk in front of a camera. Some people pick up really early on how to express emotions in front of a camera, all these things. But there are so many people out there who, if they could start a YouTube channel, they would hit it big. I know because I've met them. I've met people who I know if they just started a YouTube channel, they would probably get way more subscribers than I have right now in a month. Right now I have 2,800 something subs, which is nice. I'm not complaining. But you have people out there who, if they just got in front of a camera and talked and started a YouTube channel, they would bypass me in a month, couple months. But they don't. They don't because they're nervous. That's it. That's just the bottom line. They're nervous. They are. They're afraid. They have stage fright, and that's really what it is. It's just stage fright. That's all it is. It's so much easier to talk in front of people than it is to talk in front of a camera. When you talk in front of a camera, and it's just you and the camera, it's like you're talking to yourself, right? And that's actually what you need to do when you're talking in front of a camera, recording your voice, recording yourself talking. You need to just talk to yourself. Don't talk to the audience. Don't talk to an imaginary audience. If that works for you, then, whatever. But this is how I do it. You just have to talk to yourself. And, yeah. Do you think it's the topics that you talk about? Yeah, definitely. The subject matter that you get into, the subject matter that you talk about on a video is definitely going to play a role in getting people to click on your video. For example, and I was thinking about this yesterday. Let's pick a story that everyone was talking about, right? Let's talk about cocaine found in the White House. So, cocaine found in the White House, right? Everybody was talking about that. Who did it, right? Who was sniffing coke? Was it Hunter? Was it Biden? Was it whoever? Was it both? Were the son and the father both sniffing cocaine in the White House? Ultimately, the story is meaningless. It's not important. It really isn't important who was sniffing cocaine in the White House, who was taking crack in the White House, right? It means nothing. People are talking about it, right? As if it's important. Oh, who did it? They shut down the investigation. Oh my God, this is terrible. But the reality is that a month after the headline is published, no one's going to give a shit. And after a year, people are going to forget, are already going to have forgotten about. People are going to not even think about it. In a year, the story would be forgotten about. But yet again, people talk about these stories because it's gossip. It's political gossip. That's what it is. So if I got in front of a camera and I said, let's talk about the cocaine in the White House, and the title was something to the likes of that, right? The title was, let's talk about cocaine in the White House, or let's talk about that cocaine, dot, dot, dot. You could garner up a lot of clicks. But I think that would depend on the angle that you take and the perspective that you have. So if I say, let's talk about the cocaine in the White House, what would happen, and the title was that, what would happen is I would get a rush of views in the first couple of minutes. Boom, you'll get, 50 views in 1 minute or something like that. 20 views in 1 minute. This is in the perspective of a small content creator. But if the video consists of me just reading some news articles, then the rate of clicks, the rate of viewership is going to decline very fast, because people are going to realize that it's just you reading the news and you're not going to be providing anything new. But if I do a video and I say, let's talk about the cocaine in the White House, and it's a completely new and original perspective on it, and I found some obscure articles that have some very interesting information that is not being talked about in the mainstream, then you can definitely get yourself a lot of views, because it's an original take, or it's a perspective, or it's an angle, or it's information, the conveying of information that is obscure and that is relatively unknown. So there you have it. It's just, content matters, your personality matters, your perspective matters. All these things matter. They all matter. All these things matter. They're all going to play a role, on getting people to watch you. I think, though, that the best way to start talking in front of the camera is to just talk to yourself. Don't talk to the camera. Don't talk to an imaginary audience. Don't do that, because that's when you go blank, right? You go blank, and just talk to yourself. And you guys, I'm sure you guys talk to yourselves all the time, right? You talk to yourself in the shower. You talk to yourself when you're in the car. You talk to yourself, whatever. Just talk to yourself. I'm going to talk about, this priest who was found guilty of pedophilia, and he was going to be put in prison, but they found him dead in his office. Just talk about it. Don't worry about how you express yourself. Just talk about it. That's it. What really helped me process these thoughts in regards to talking in front of a camera, essentially what helped me talk better in front of a camera, and I'm not even talking that well right now, was this analogy that I read years ago. And that was a good boxer. One of the differences between a good boxer and a lousy boxer is when a lousy boxer, or when a mediocre, or when a not as trained boxer is fighting and he gets hit, it devastates him. He gets hit really hard. He stops. He blanks out. He stops moving. He freezes, and then he just gets hit again and again and again, and he loses. Whereas a professional boxer, someone who's really seasoned and experienced, when he gets hit, he gets hit, but he keeps moving. And a lot of the times, the professional is so seasoned and experienced that when he gets hit, you don't even notice it that well. Or you notice it, but it looks like it doesn't even faze him, because he's been hit so many times in his life, in his career, that it's not that big of a deal. And so professional boxer gets hit, okay, he moves back. He puts his hands up. He counters. He does something, and he continues on the momentum of the fight, thereby advancing himself and really giving the impression that it doesn't affect him that much. Same thing goes with anything else. If you're talking in front of a camera and you stumble on a word here and there, right? Everyone's done it. You stumble on a word, or sometimes you mispronounce a word, or sometimes you fumble, sometimes you stagger, sometimes you have a little bit of hesitation. You kind of forgot what you were going to say, but then you remember it and you continue on your thoughts. You continue on with your train of thought. When those moments happen, don't worry about it. Just keep talking. Just think of it like a boxing match. You got hit, it's not the end of the world, right? You haven't been knocked out. You can still move. You can still think. Hit back. Put your hands up. Back away. Cut angles. Do something, right? Keep the fight going. Keep the momentum going. It's the same thing with talking in front of a camera. Look, I just made a mistake just now, right? I just kind of staggered on a word. I stumbled on a word right there. But I see it as no big deal. It's no big deal because everyone does it. And a lot of times actually, I think, how come I can talk better in a normal conversation than I would in front of a camera? And what this thought has led me to is observing my articulation in regular conversations in real life. So if I'm talking to some people in front of me and we're having a normal conversation, everything is really fluid, right? There's not a lot of hesitation. There's not a lot. You don't blank out in a regular conversation. You don't blank out. You don't. You don't really have this deer in the headlight moment when you are having conversations in real life. So I started observing my articulation in regular conversations. And I noticed in regular conversations, I stumble on words. I can blank out a little bit. I can stagger. I can stutter a little bit. I can not remember a word. You know, I can say, what was that word again? What's the word? What's the word? What's the word? And then your brain, your memory gets triggered, and then you say the word. But because you don't make a big deal about it, because you don't worry about it, the conversation continues on. It stays interesting. It stays stimulating. And the momentum perseveres. So you realize that the same things that you do in a normal conversation, you do in front of a camera. So when you're talking in front of a camera, realize that the same little mistakes that you make in a regular conversation, you're going to do in front of the camera. Once you come to this realization, you don't worry about it anymore. And then it becomes just a normal conversation, as I am doing right now. So I'll read your guys' comments here. Let's see here. I see no reason why you couldn't host your own Shubot Radio where you and your father discuss geopolitics and religion. Okay. Shubot Radio. I would have to find a radio broadcasting network. But the thing is that radio is dying out. I mean, it's dying out. It's all about podcasts and it's all about YouTube channels. And so I'm basically, in a way, I am fulfilling my dream, but I'm just not doing it through radio. I'm doing it through YouTube, which in my opinion is better. Do you still have the main mixer? No, my cat vomited on it, but I got myself a new mixer. It's a Mix 5. Yeah, it's a Mix 5, MIX5. It's one of the cheaper sound mixers, but it works just as good as the other one. Good afternoon, Andres Lopez. Do you golf? No. I'm not a golfer at all. Someone should have come alongside of you and kept encouraging you. My father definitely encouraged me, and that's why I continued on. I was like, you know what? Forget radio. Somebody actually told me about internet radio. I don't remember but somebody told me that the future is in the internet. The future is. Somebody told me like over 10 years ago. I forgot who told me this, but what I was told was that the radio is dying out, and the future is online. The future is in the internet. So that makes sense. So that's why I'm on the internet. There really is no point in trying to get on the radio. There really is no point, because the radio is a market that has been saturated so much already. I mean, you already have you've already have had the biggest players on the radio, and most of them are still there. You still have Glenn Beck, you still have Sean Hannity, you still have Michael Savage, you still have, well, Michael Savage is not on the radio anymore. He has a podcast now, but you still have Hannity, you still have all these guys. And then you have the conservative talk radio hosts who are still on the radio, and they still have substantial followings. So, you trying to get on the radio in today's market, how would that look like? How are you going to do it? Are you going to get on some small radio station? Like, how is it going to work? Because all of the conservative radio broadcasting networks in America, they're playing the biggest names. That's what they're playing. They're playing pretty much the biggest names in town. Why? Because that is what is financially secured. If they get some guy who's an aspiring radio host and no one has ever heard of, and they put him on, and they give him a radio show, they may lose a lot of money doing that, because they don't know if you're going to be good enough to garner a financially successful flow of revenue from a big audience. They don't know if you're going to be able to do that. So they're just going to play, I guess, Rush Limbaugh reruns, or they're going to play Beck, or they're going to play whoever the big radio host they are, whoever the big radio hosts of today are. So it's very difficult to get into the radio market. It's nearly impossible, actually, to build a name in like regular AM or FM radio. It's very difficult because the market has been already established. It's been established for decades. I knew a guy who was a local radio host, went on to his show, went to the studio. It was a lot of fun. And at one point, he had a decent following, but his following was all local. That was the thing. It was all local. Let me get my camera a little bit here. So it was all local, and he had it for years. But the problem with this radio host was that he would get lazy. He had a really good radio voice. He had a really good radio voice. He had a really good radio voice, but the problem with him was that while he had the talent, he kind of lost the will to continue on being creative. And what he would do is, instead of going onto the show and just speaking his mind and talking and bringing in interesting guests, he would just say, okay, Bill O'Reilly, said this thing last night on Fox News or on his radio show, and I'm going to play it for you guys. And he would play, I'm not joking, because I used to listen to this guy. He would play a 7-minute or 10-minute long clip of Bill O'Reilly talking. And he did this so much, right? He would play like Sean Hannity for 15 minutes, Bill O'Reilly for 10 minutes. He would play all these different, very popular hosts, and he wouldn't play them for 30 seconds, 15 seconds. He'd play them for, like I said, prolonged periods of time, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes. And there were moments when I would be listening to his show and I would forget that I was listening to his show. I would think that I would start thinking that I was listening to Bill O'Reilly, or that I was listening to Hannity, or that I was listening to Beck. And he did this all the time. And so he lost his enthusiasm, he lost his will, he lost his robustness as a host. And so he lost that oomph. And they got rid of him. And I remember talking to his producer, or whoever was in charge at the station, and I said, what happened to this guy? And he said, well, we had to get rid of him because he wasn't bringing in enough money. He said, so we just replaced his show with one of the big mainstream conservative radio hosts. So a Limbaugh or Hannity, someone like that. And I said, really? He said, yeah. He said, because it's just more financially successful this way. So that's the radio market. The radio market is ruthless. And you already have these huge names in radio. So how the hell can you expect yourself to assail up to that position when the market has already been taken over? That's why it's better just to get on the internet, right? It's way better just to get on the internet, get on YouTube, get on Rumble, and just talk. And just freaking talk. And that's it. Make it very simple. You know, you don't need a lot of crazy edits and all this stuff, although that definitely can't help. I also think the tone of voice is very important. Yeah, absolutely. The tone of voice, how you communicate, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not going to start, this is from Noah, I'm not going to start a YouTube channel, but I do plan to release an album on YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud. I want to make music for a living. Well, go for it, you know, but always make sure you have a job, all right? Always make sure that you have at least 2 streams of income. If you have 2 streams of income, then go forth. You know, you got 2 streams of income, so you're financially secure, and you have that space to have fun, and you have that space to pursue something else. You want to pursue music, you want to pursue, you know, whatever it is, go for it. You know, I wish the best of luck to you. Kind of remember Cocaine Bear. I think the tone of voice is also very important. The real crime is no one does anything about it. Law enforcement ignores it. Well, of course, it's the White House. Yeah, it's the White House. We can't expect people in the White House to get arrested. Like, oh, yeah, we have a warrant for your arrest because you're in possession of, I don't know how many grams of cocaine. But, you know, this thing happens all the time in regular life. There's always people taking cocaine and nothing happens to them. But again, all of your objections at the end of the day are, I don't want to say they're irrelevant, but I hate using that word. It's irrelevant, you know. It sounds kind of like an asshole thing to say. But we can, my point is, we can, I'll just put it this way. We can object all we want to these things, right? Oh, there's cocaine on the table. But in the grand scheme of things, right, it's basically meaningless. This is like me saying, you know, my neighbor down the road has cocaine. And there's plenty of people in America who have cocaine in their houses, right? You can go to LA, you can go out of Hollywood, whatever. You'll find people with cocaine in their houses. There's people taking cocaine all the time. Is it bad for them to take cocaine? Yeah, it's bad for them. It's not good for them. Drugs, hard drugs, they ruin families. But at the same time, there's nothing you and I can do about it. And at the end of the day, you know, the story of some bag of cocaine in the White House is just, it's just meaningless. It really is meaningless, actually, because it's going to be forgotten about. It's probably already forgotten about for the most part. And that's it. I mean, there are so many things. There are so many things that we holler about and that we complain about, yammer about, whatever word you want to use, that eventually become completely meaningless. I remember back in 2000 and I want to say 11 or 12, I went to this guy's house. He was also a radio host. He had his own little show, local show in the area. He invited me and my father over for dinner. We had dinner at his house, and he was showing me around his house. And he had this book, and it was a really thick book, like super thick. It was like a brick. And I asked him, what's this book? And he said, well, this book is, I forgot the name of it, but he said, this book is about the crimes of the Clintons, the crimes that were done by Hillary Clinton, by Bill Clinton, and it gives you like huge amounts of detail about all these crimes that they committed and how terrible they were and how evil they were and blah, 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 and how horrible they were and all this stuff. And that was over a decade ago that I had this discussion. And he was a local radio host, and he was very passionate about the subject, and he was right about the things that he was saying. But at the end of the day, we are over a decade later, and it's like, who gives a shit about the Clintons? There's so many things that we complain about that in the end become meaningless. It's like that line from that song from Linkin Park, in the end, it doesn't really matter, right? Like that's what it reminds me of. It's like, yeah, it's like, what was I gonna say? It's like gay marriage. Gay marriage is terrible. It's a terrible thing. It really is horrible. Gay marriage is horrible. And over 10 years ago, it was a big issue. Back in 2009, whatever, it was a huge issue. And people were complaining about it. There were people protesting about it. Franklin Graham was over it. Franklin Graham Ministries, Miseries, they were all talking about gay marriage and how gay marriage was just a threat to civilization, a threat to our survival, a threat to our culture. It was awful. It was demonic. It was satanic. It was this. It was that. And 60% of Americans opposed gay marriage at one point in time. Well, they did a poll in 2017, and it wasn't 60% disapproval. It was amongst white evangelicals. The number was around 48% approval of gay marriage. So the country has definitely gone through a dramatic shift in this area. And, over 10 years ago, we were like, oh my God, this is the end of the world, and blah, blah, blah. This is terrible. This is awful. And it was awful. I completely disagree with it. But no one cares, right? And so I look back in the past, and it feels like a distant memory, that holds. It's a distant memory, and I'm thinking of the times when I was hanging out with my friends, and we were complaining about this stuff and talking about how awful it was, and it's terrible, and Obama is ruining the world, and it's so awful, and it's so this, and it's so that. But who's talking about Obama? Who's talking about any of these things? And in 2021, they did a poll for conservatives and their opinions on gay marriage, and for the first time, conservatives had a majority approval for gay marriage, and this was in 2021. So it's like, how much has changed in not a lot of time? 10 years isn't really a huge amount of time. It feels like a long time, but it really isn't. And like I said, those days when we were just so passionate about fighting this stuff, it feels like a distant memory. And I'll listen to music from that time period, and it just triggers all these memories from that era, and it gives me these feelings of nostalgia, and it feels like a distant memory. I feel like I'm in a cave somewhere, and there's this little light that's seeping through the cracks, and those little beams of light are whatever energy is remaining from that long ago era. It's a beautiful feeling, to be honest with you. I love the feeling of nostalgia. Did you watch the movie Oppenheimer? No, I don't really plan on watching this film. It doesn't really interest me. Oppenheimer doesn't interest me. Is there a reason why I should? Does anybody recommend the film? If you recommend the film Oppenheimer, tell me why you think I should watch Oppenheimer. Bro, you need interesting subjects like boomers ruining our economy. Boomers ruining our economy. Boomers ruining our economy. Aren't millennials ruining the economy? Aren't people in general just ruining the economy with all of their credit card addictions? Their dependence on credit cards? That's ruining the economy. Have to fly. Have a good one. All right, see you later, Lisa. Why has your dad been missing for so long? Because he's working on a book. They still lose money. They just promote ideas of liberals, even if they call themselves conservatives. How do they still lose money if they're playing shows that are popular? Not the point. Why even make it public if they're going to ignore it? Because it's a big, juicy story? Because people love gossip? Then they're not living for Jesus? Apparently not. Did you see that clown friend of Mr. Beast? All the affirming clowns are trying to make this wife deserter and child confused seem like a treasure to humanity. I have no idea what you're talking about. Ninja still didn't watch any of my recommendations, but is willing to watch Oppenheimer. I have no plans on watching Oppenheimer. I'm just wondering if anybody recommends the film, why do you think I should go see it? Because to me, it looks like another Christopher Nolan movie where Christopher Nolan is just sort of masturbating his own talent. And then they're going to have that Irish guy who played Scarecrow, and then people online are going to make a billion gazillion memes out of it. Now, here's the thing that I want to talk to you guys about. There is a very weird phenomena that's been going on for years. Oh my God, I should play some music. Hold on, dang it. Let's play some music here. Let's play a little music here. Let's see. Romantic classical guitar. I don't care about this. Vivaldi. You know what? I don't like this. Screw this. Resident Evil 4 remake. Save meme. One-hour extended version. Here we go. Did you watch 7? Nope. Wait, 7. Yeah. The horror film. Yeah. It has Samuel L. Jackson in it. Yeah, I saw it. It was okay. Shalom, Ted. Hope you get a chance of eating the hottie. Yep, me too. So there's something I want to talk to you guys about, and that is, and this topic has different dimensions to it, but it's the topic of the conservative movement and how weird it has become. It's become extremely weird, very bizarre. It's almost nothing like what it used to be over 10 years ago. Over 10 years ago, it was like family values and Christianity and what the Bible says, and we have to fight for Jesus, and and now that doesn't exist at all. It just doesn't exist. It's not there. That zeal, that enthusiasm is not there. And you have a lot more so-called, American conservatives who are in favor of gay marriage. Even after this whole wave of anti-trans sentiment has been outpouring, the disapproval or the approval rating for gay marriage amongst American conservatives is still 40-something%. That's huge. People say, oh, look, conservatives' approval ratings for gay marriage is declining, blah, 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 or has declined. But it hasn't declined all that much. 48% approval is huge. That means if you find me 100 conservatives, I can find 48 people who approve of gay marriage. That's humongous. That's almost half. And the fact that at one point in 2021, there was a majority approval rating for gay marriage amongst conservatives tells me that the American conservative movement can shift any year in favor of gay marriage. That's what that tells me. So it's very, what's the word? It's very, it's very unstable. You don't really know what to expect. It's capricious. That's the word I was looking for. Capricious. Very, very capricious. That's what it is. And I was looking at Dennis Prager. Dennis Prager, big name in the conservative movement, one of the biggest names in the conservative movement. And I was looking at what he wrote about gay marriage, and I found this article that he wrote back in 2012. This is what he said, and this really, really further reveals Prager as a snake. He wrote back in 2012, this is over a decade ago, quote, proponents of same-sex marriage may conflate opposition to same-sex marriage with being anti-gay, but conservatives must not. In other words, we must not be anti-Sodom. We must be pro-gay. We must be anti-gay marriage, but at the same time, we must be pro-Sodom. Do you see what this guy does? And this is how these things work. This is how it works in the conservative movement. You have an issue like gay marriage. For years, conservatives were fighting against gay marriage. Liberals come along and they say, you guys hate gay people. Conservatives then say, no, we're not anti-gay, we're simply anti-gay marriage. So then you have conservative gays who enter the conservative ranks and they start working with people who claim Christianity. And then you have people like Prager who come along and say, we have to accept these people. We have to accept these citizens of the Republic of Sodom, or else we're going to lose them to the left. And then what happens is you have so many citizens of Sodom in the ranks of the conservative movement that issues like gay marriage get thrown into the back burner. They no longer become a serious issue. They no longer are seen as a serious issue. It becomes sort of a thing that Christians care about, but we can sort of bypass that. And there are so many conservative gays here, and we love them, so we really want to respect them. We don't want to scare them away. We don't want to drive them away. Great example of this is David Rubin. David Rubin has become one of the most popular right-wing talkers on YouTube. He has a big channel. I think he's hosted by the Daily Wire. He is and I hate to say this, but he is a man who is married to another man. How the hell is this guy on the Daily Wire? He supports gay marriage. He supports gays having kids through a surrogate or through adoption. Why in the hell would this guy be on a major conservative network? Why? Answer! It's very simple. Very simple. Because they don't care anymore. It's not even an issue. It's not an issue. It's not an issue. That's what happens when you absorb people who are against your principles into your movement. Your movement no longer fights for those particular principles, or they become very lax in fighting for those principles. So Dennis Prager, back in 2012, he wrote, proponents of same-sex marriage may conflate opposition to same-sex marriage with being anti-gay, but conservatives must not. As it happens, there are far more gays who hold conservative values that many gay activists or conservatives realize. So we have to accept the Milos. And we should embrace these people. We should embrace the Milos. Being gay does not automatically mean that one is on the left, and conservatives should not assume that they are. Otherwise, they risk pushing the gay conservative leftward. So we have to accept the citizens of Sodom, because if we don't, then they're going to become liberals. Well, why not just let them become liberals? Why allow them into the movement so that they can corrupt the movement? Why do you want the corruption? That's what you're doing. You're corrupting the movement with things that are abominable. So Prager writes, I am close to a gay man and his partner who lives in the heart of San Francisco. This man is a major fundraiser for Republican candidates. And given his homosexuality and where he lives, his Republican activism is quite courageous. He should be regarded as a major asset to the conservative cause. So there you go. This guy gives a lot of money, even though he's part of the evil Republic of Sodom. It doesn't matter because he's got a lot of money and he is giving away this money. So we have to kiss up to Sodom, because if we don't, then we're going to lose this fundraiser. We're going to lose this funder. We're going to lose these people to the left. The way it works is very simple. The left pushes for gay marriage and transgenderism, and the right protests. The right gets angry. But then leading conservatives like Prager say that they accept the citizens of Sodom as long as they are conservative. Right-wingers, who are more nationalistic, more secular, will argue that Christians should embrace these gay conservatives lest they lose them to the left. Thus, the conservative movement absorbs Sodom without much objection, because the citizens of Sodom are so many, they are legion in the conservative ranks, that the conservatives begin to become lackadaisical, and they just downright accept the abomination, like gay marriage. They then will stop fighting a previous abomination. This is what they always do. They will stop fighting a previous abomination and go on to fight the next extreme, which in this case is transgenderism. But mark my words, if you have enough conservative transgenders enter the ranks of the conservative movement, then transgenderism will no longer be a serious issue in the conservative movement. And the whole goal of this is to really make the conservative movement just a nationalistic liberal movement. That's what it is. That's what's happening. That is what's happening. So what then would distinguish the liberals from the conservatives in America? The only thing that would distinguish the two is that one would be nationalistic, isolationist, protectivist, and the other one would be more internationalist. And that's it. That's the only thing that would really distinguish the two groups. The moral issues are being thrown out the window. That's it. They're being thrown out the window. A lot of people are ignoring mainstream media. That's true, but what are they looking at? They're looking at alternative media. And alternative media is what? Tim Pool, Crowder, maybe Jesse Lee Peterson, Prager. They're looking at all these outlets which also appeal to Sodom. I mean, how many times did Crowder bring Milo? It's insane. Guys, Alex Jones is a creep. He is. Alex Jones is a creep. He was right about so many things. Sure he was. A lot of people are right about a lot of things. Alex Jones is a creep. How do I know that he's a creep? Why? How do I know this? Dare I speak against the great Alex Jones, the truth teller, the whistleblower? Yes, I do dare. Dare I say it? When Milo said that pedophilia is okay, Alex Jones defended Milo, So the guy who for years has been saying, oh, there's pedophiles here and Hollywood pedophiles and Epstein and Schmepstein, about the guy who for years has been talking about, the secret network of pedophiles, when it came down to it, he defended a guy who was defending pedophilia. So how the hell does that make any sense? It doesn't have to make sense. The whole thing is crazy to begin with. The whole thing is nuts. Because the American society is crazy. American society is absolutely nuts. And you have so many people who are like, I watched this thing on Jordan Peterson. What is up? Can someone explain this to me? Is it just me? Or is there this very weird, obnoxious, and annoying meme culture on the internet where they'll take like Jordan Peterson clips and then they'll take footage from that Cillian Murphy actor and they'll play it over a Jordan Peterson voice, a Jordan Peterson clip, and then they're like, yeah, masculinity, Cillian Murphy, masculinity, Andrew Tate, masculinity, Tom Hardy, masculinity, blah, 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 and yeah, real men, Jordan Peterson. Like, I'm trying to describe this thing as best as I can. It's just a very bizarre thing for me. It's extremely bizarre and what makes it so bizarre is the fact that so many people will watch Jordan Peterson and they won't even question him. That's what's so scary about this whole thing. Like, they don't question this guy. They're just like, that's all this thing on Jordan Peterson. The thing about them is that they will bash the left for preaching whatever nonsense that the left will preach, but then they'll watch Jordan Peterson. They don't question anything. They're like, Cillian Murphy? Okay, I thought it was... Okay, Cillian, okay. They'll sit there and they'll watch Jordan Peterson, and they're like, Jordan Peterson is a genius. He's a genius. Okay. Okay, guys, here we go. I'm going to show you guys a clip. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of a clip of a recent interview between Jordan Peterson and Dawid Ruban, or as he is known, David Rubin. I call him Dawid Ruban. Here is Dennis Prager. No, sorry, not Dennis Prager. Sorry. Jordan Peterson. And this guy Peterson has converted to Christianity. Okay. David Rubin. I'm going to try to find the part of the clip as best as I can. Here we go. So this was from 1 year ago. 811,000 views. So let's see here. Very strange conversation. But let's get right to it. So here we go. God, I hate this crap. Let's see here. Hold on. Such a boomer. Hello, Brainstorm. Window capture. Here we go. So here is... Let me try to get this thing even smaller. Here we go. Let's watch this. Let's watch this, guys. So here it is. Here is David Rubin with Jordan Peterson. Gay parenting, promise and pitfalls. 811,000 views. This is very recent. This is a year ago. It's not that long ago. And supposedly Peterson is a Christian. But let's listen to this. Let me just turn off my background music here. Let's listen to this, okay?
Its beliefs, but from a secular perspective, to whatever respect we remain secular in this country, if you don't give people the same opportunity to be in a relationship and then learn all of the things that you talked about before, how you go through that churning with your partner and hopefully make each other better and sometimes make each other worse and all that stuff, what will you leave them with? You will leave them with their carnal desires. And I definitely could have gone down that road.
With a
and I definitely did go down that road
with
for a
a
part
defiant rebelliousness, right? Because who knows what happens if you're not allowed, so to speak, to be who you are. Then it strikes me as highly probable that an excessive amount of rebelliousness is going to start to look attractive, right? And maybe to be indistinguishable from courage. I would say it's got to be the case that the hope, so to speak, of the more enlightened conservative types.
Now, Peterson is very good. Hold on, let me change my camera view a little bit here. So let me change my camera view a little bit here. Here we go. So Peterson is really good at speaking almost cryptically, right? Like you have to, hello, Jack. You have to read between the lines with him. You have to really focus on what he's saying because he does this thing where he'll spill out a whole bunch of, he'll spill out like a huge word salad. And then in the middle of the word salad is the poison. Let's just put it that way. So here we go.
Who were willing to open the door to gay marriage was that by bringing those relationships inside.
So let's fast forward it real quick. Or sorry, rewind it. Let's rewind this a little bit.
Were willing to open the speak of the.
Okay, hold on.
I would say it's got to be the case that the hope, so to speak, of the more enlightened conservative.
The more enlightened conservatives.
Types who were willing to open the door to gay marriage.
So the more enlightened conservatives are the ones who want to open the door to gay marriage. Okay, so you're not enlightened if you're a conservative and you're against gay marriage. Okay.
Was that by bringing those relationships inside the traditional fold that things would normalize, right?
Yeah.
And that there would be a promotion of something like stable, mature, responsible, long-term monogamy.
Well, I think maybe I'm trying to prove that.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to prove it like I'm setting.
Yeah.
So by giving them gay marriage, then now they can be more stable and they can have more better relationships. And it's just crap, guys. It's just absolute garbage. Basically, Jordan Peterson is a liberal who is preaching things in a way that a lot of conservatives like to hear.
Out to prove it, but I suppose de facto, because of my life, I'm trying to prove that. I mean, in a weird way, although I'm probably the unlikeliest of conservatives in that sense, it's like, what life am I trying to live? I'm trying to live a life that is somewhat conservative in nature, in that sense, meaning that I believe that family is important and probably the most important thing after the individual. That's how societies are built. I fundamentally believe that. So it's weird. It's like my worldview, because otherwise, what are you saying to people? So, okay, you're gay, so you can either just endlessly have sex or endlessly disregard every norm known to man and just have nothing other than wake up and just live life how you want. What other way is there to integrate into society? To really integrate into society? I mean, to me, this...
So watch how Peterson, he'll give something of a right answer, but there is poison in it. Just listen closely, okay?
This is it.
I think that's why the culture did take the decision that it took, which was to open the doors, let's say. Now, we talked about that. I want to get into that too, because we have this notion that's rife in our culture, let's say, that's insisted upon, that all families are equally...
So he's talking about the liberal ideology that says, gay couples are the same as normal couples and blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Are equal. And I understand the emphasis on that from the, let's call it the tolerance perspective. But I think that it's badly flawed in one manner, and I think this will be the hardest thing probably for us to discuss, is that you can't flatten out distinctions.
So what he's saying is true. You can't just get rid of distinctions, right? Okay.
Without a tremendous loss. And I don't think it's possible to dispense with the ideal of heterosexual monogamy.
So you can't dispense with the ideal of marriage, right? Real marriage. Okay.
Now, as the ideal.
Yes.
So if we think, well, there's an ideal individual who's responsible and mature and far-seeing and honest, an honest trader, a good player, an honorable person, honorable, decent person. And then there's the minimal requirement for a family that's ideal, and that's something approximating heterosexual, long-term heterosexual monogamy. And maybe you have two decent people united together, and then there's a firm platform for children. Now, the problem with that as an ideal is that we all fall short of the ideal.
So he says there's an ideal. The ideal is one man, one woman, children, etc. Okay, there's an ideal, but he says we all fall short of that ideal. Okay.
And so
Right.
40% of people are going to get divorced.
Okay, we know this.
And of the people who don't get divorced, a good percentage of them are in pretty damn miserable marriages.
Okay.
Now, that doesn't condemn marriage, but it does show how difficult attaining that ideal is. And then there's going to be people who lose their partners and raise children alone.
Again, he's just speaking a bunch of bullshit, right? We all know this. We all know that most marriages end up in a divorce. 50, 60% of them end up in divorce. We know a lot of people are living in miserable marriages. Blah, 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 blah. We know this already. But the subject at hand is gay marriage. So in the middle of this word salad, you'll see the poison being brought up. Watch this.
Alone, and there are going to be people who raise children alone by happenstance or choice. And it doesn't seem reasonable to, what would you say, put them outside the bounds of civilized society.
So there you go. See that right there? See the poison right there?
Reasonable to, or choice. And it doesn't seem reasonable to, what would you say,
Hold on. Let's rewind it a little bit.
raise children alone by happenstance.
So he says initially, it doesn't seem reasonable to dispense with the idea of traditional marriage. But look what he says here.
Or choice. And it doesn't seem reasonable
It doesn't seem reasonable.
to, what would you say, put them outside the bounds of civilized society.
It doesn't seem reasonable to put the marginal outside of the bounds of society. Meaning, it's not reasonable to reject gay marriage. That's what this guy is saying. And there's more. And that's why with Peterson, you have to really listen. If you want to get what he's saying, you really have to listen to him. Because he's very good at clouding your vision, muddying up the waters. He's very good at equivocating things. He's very good at confusing people. He will say a bunch of stuff that's true, right? A lot of marriages don't work out. Most marriages don't work out. There's an ideal. The ideal is one man, one woman, and having children, et cetera, et cetera. I was like, okay, Christians, conservatives, Christians, okay, he's saying the truth. He's saying the truth. He's saying the truth. But then he says it doesn't seem reasonable. And what he did there was the topic at hand is gay marriage, gays adopting children or having children through surrogates. But he spits out this plethora of things like single moms, situations like single motherhood or unhappy marriages or failed marriages. And then he says, and he mixes that up with gay marriage. And then he says, it's not reasonable to throw these people outside of marriage. But really, what are we talking about here? We're talking about Sodom. That's it.
Let's say that. By the same token, it doesn't seem reasonable to dispense with the ideal.
Yes.
So maybe we need something like, well, we know what the ideal is. It's a divine ideal in some sense.
So
in that
there's an ideal. The ideal is one man, one woman. And he says that it's somewhat divine. Okay.
none of us can live up to it. But then there has to be a space around that ideal where
there has to be a space. Okay.
individual differences and flaws and peculiarities and
Okay. Citizens of Sodom. Okay.
idiosyncrasies of people aren't treated so harshly that becomes counterproductive in and of itself.
We shouldn't treat them harshly. So this is basically Vatican speak. This is like Pope Francis saying we got to love everybody.
It's damning with faint praise, but I don't see...
No, that's it. That's it.
And David Rubin agrees.
That's it. That's the meat of this more than anything else. That there is, of course, there's an ideal. Of course, there is an ideal. There has to be an ideal, and if we
Well, there's nothing to
believe
aim at if there's not an
Yeah.
ideal. Because if
So what? So listen to this part.
progressives or whatever that is that are now destabilizing everything. This is why I've said this. I've gotten into trouble for saying
So
it.
they'll start bashing transgenderism here. Okay, so here we go. And this is really some people who bash transgenderism, but they don't bash the other stuff in the LGBT. They don't criticize the L, the B, and the G. That's always a red flag. Like if you want to go against this stuff, you got to go against all the letters, right?
A few times, but I'm sympathetic to conservatives who go, boy, we let gay marriage happen, and
So here they are. He's expressing sympathy to conservatives. Okay, very strategic move, very deceptive.
look what's happened since. Now we're into all this gender stuff, and they're literally teaching gender theory to 5-year-olds.
Okay, so he's doing the typical. This is the typical conservative claptrap. It's all the drag queens, the transgender, blah, 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 blah. But then let's accept Dave Rubin. Let's listen to Dave Rubin and hear what he has to say, and let's support Dave Rubin. Do you see the danger in all this?
Who know nothing about gender.
In other words, yeah, let's go against transgenderism, but let's accept Dave Rubin and his gay marriage and his raising kids as if he is in a normal marriage, and when he's not in a normal marriage. You see the insanity of it?
Or sex or anything else. But the issue really is, so if we have the ideal, really what we're talking about here is what do we do with these marginal cases? The marginal cases meaning,
the
so
old
now they're
postmodern question.
right. So what do we really do with that? So now, so there are going to be gay couples who want to approximate to that ideal.
Approximate. So gay marriage, that's it. Just say you support gay marriage.
So what does a society do? Does a society try to help them get there? Or does a society just never talk about it, push them to the margins,
And push it underground.
I agree with that. Just don't talk about it. That's it. Let's stop supporting this stuff. That is my position.
right. So what we're trying to do right here is unearth that a little bit. So I don't deny the importance of a mother by no stretch. As I said, we're going to try to have as many strong female role models as
Strong female role models. Okay.
possible. But I don't think it will replicate a mother. By the way, when you talked about
Children are pretty good at bonding with adults.
So Peterson, this is what Peterson does. He gives you a whole word salad, a whole smorgasbord salad of words, and then somewhere in the middle, there's the poison. And he's very good at doing this.
Who aren't their biological relatives. What children don't like is instability in their primary caregiver. They really hate having primary caregivers swap because their primary caregiver is their whole world. And so basically, if you substitute one for another,
Now, I want you guys to listen to this, and I want you guys to think, is this really different from what liberals teach? Right? Let's hear this.
say 6 months into the child's life, then it's as if everything the child knows has been flipped upside down. So they don't like that. They're perfectly capable of bonding with multiple people, though, and there doesn't seem to be any developmental downside to that. In fact, perhaps quite the contrary. I don't think it's so bad for a child to have a variety of role models to choose from. And I certainly don't think it's impossible.
Okay. So everything he's saying here is, there's nothing really wrong, right, at face value. With what he's saying here, right? Everyone has had multiple role models. It wasn't just your parents, right? You had athletes who you looked up to, professional fighters, musicians, actors. There was all sorts of people. Indiana Jones, you looked up, you wanted to be Neo in the Matrix. I know I wanted to be Neo in the Matrix. But everybody, growing up, you always have people that you look up to. And this actually, it doesn't really change when you enter adulthood. You still have people beyond your parents that you look up to, right? So there's nothing wrong with what he's saying here, right? But just keep listening.
For you to replicate both the masculine and the feminine influences in your
Right there. So let's hear it again.
child, to have a variety of role models to choose
So there's nothing wrong with a child having a variety of role models, okay?
from. And I certainly don't think it's impossible.
I don't think it's again, he's speaking in light of gay marriage. So let's listen.
For you to replicate both the masculine and the feminine.
He says there's nothing wrong with trying to replicate the masculine and the feminine, which means you can have two fathers, one LARPing as the mother and the other one playing the role as the masculine figure. So you have a guy who acts feminine and a guy who acts masculine, and that's the gay marriage. And you have children, and the children will have a guy who is LARPing as their mom, and they'll have a guy who is playing the masculine position. How in the hell is this bullshit different from what liberals preach? What he's essentially saying is that gender doesn't matter. That's what this guy is saying. That's what this guy is saying. He's saying gender doesn't matter. That's it. Because he's saying you can have two guys and one guy can play the role of the mom and one guy can play the role of the dad. So with liberals are just like out in the open, drag queen rallies, let's have a drag queen event at your local microbrewery in some bum shit town somewhere in Texas. And then conservatives are like, not my kids. But then they'll be like, oh, we love Jordan Peterson. He's so great. See how crazy this shit is, guys? It's crazy. So I have concluded that there really is no conservative movement in America. It doesn't exist. There's no conservative movement. There is no conservative movement in America. Everything is a phase. Everything is a fad. At one point in time, it was a fad to be against gay marriage. Now the fad is be against transgenderism. And you know what? This too shall pass. Because when you have enough conservative transgenders, 2022 gonna feel like a thing of the past, just like 2012 was a thing of the past. Just like 2010 is a thing of the past. Just like 2009 is a thing of the past. It's all a thing of the past. And we're going to be looking back and we're going to be like, remember 2022? Remember 2023? Remember 2021? Man, we were all against the transgender stuff. Wow, what a distant memory. What a distant memory, because it's all bullshit. At the end of the day, guys, it is all bullshit. Everything is bullshit. Everything is bullshit. Everything. Your church is bullshit. Your political heroes are bullshit. Your activist heroes are bullshit. Your intellectuals are bullshit. Your universities are bullshit. Your Christian universities are bullshit. Everything is bullshit. It's all bullshit. Nothing is what it seems. That's it. That's it. It's gone, guys. Everybody's like, I love the masculinity, Jordan Peterson, Jordan Peterson, and the Bishop Cardinal, he's a based priest, based Bishop Killian Murphy memes. Oh! Jordan Peterson, the only voice fighting for truth. And here's Jordan Peterson saying, oh, guys, you can have two men and one can play the role of a woman. That's fine. What the fuck is the difference at the end of the day? What in the hell is the difference at the end of the fucking day? It's all bullshit. All of it. And I know people, I was watching, did you see Jordan Peterson? You see Jordan Peterson? Did you see Ben Shapiro? You see Ben Shapiro? You see Jordan? No, I don't watch these people because they're insane. Just like their followers. Okay, let me give you guys an example of what I mean. Hold on a second. I got this music in the back. I love this song so much. Such good music. Let's... Now, there are people in the comment section who are like, this is bullshit, right? So not everyone is a complete moron. But look at this here. Check this out here. This is what I'm talking about. Perfect example of what I mean. Here's the comment section. Here's the comment section of this video, this stupid video, right? Check this out. Look at this moron right here. Incredible and enlightening discussion between two great thinkers who have the intuitive sense of knowing what is right and what is wrong in our country and how to improve it and how to deal with this bizarre left who are the true racists, haters, and divisive. Look how this guy talks about himself. Love to be the fly on the wall when these two have dinner together and discuss things that matter. Bravo to the both of them. How insane do you have to be to write something like this? It's insane. See, this is why I took a break for 2 weeks doing streaming, because I got to get shit to talk about with you guys. I can't just get on here cold turkey. I got to really think about shit. Nothing is what it seems. It's like that song from POD. The best song. You know POD, the Christian rock band from back in the early 2000s? They made a great song called Sleeping Awake. They did it for the Matrix Reloaded movie. One of the best songs ever. I'll probably play it for you guys later on. They got the POD music video, right? And they got the band in the mansion where the Merovingians guys fight Neo. And there's this one part of the song where the singer of POD is like, nothing is really what it seems. That's how I feel. Nothing is really what it seems. Jordan Peterson is a liberal. He's a liberal. And I've been telling dumbasses this, I think, since 2018. Right? I think 2018, I've been talking about warning people about Jordan Peterson. I have been warning people about everybody. I bash everybody. This is why I just bash people all the time. And here's the thing is, I'm not really worried about, okay, I am worried about liberals, but I'm more worried about these people because these people are deceptive. Very deceptive. Like, I had some friends over a few days ago, and the wife was like, I love Jordan Peterson. And I'm just like, no one sees what this man is. No one sees what this person is. Nobody. At the end of the day, he's just a secular liberal who is critical of some things on the left, and that's it. Done. He says, oh, this is another thing that's pretty creepy. Check this one out. This is also creepy. Check this one out, guys. I'll show you guys something that you can think about. Check this one out. Jordan Peterson. And you know what? You know what's so weird? The articles that really expose Peterson are hard to find. I have been able to find them pretty easily on Tor. Tor is a great search engine. I'm so sick of Google. I am so sick of Google. Google manipulates all the search results. You type in anything on Google, it's like, you get shit that you didn't even search for. Everything is so manipulated. But check this one out. This is an article that somebody wrote on Medium. But check this out, guys. Jordan Peterson actually wrote this on Facebook. Check this out. This is what Jordan Peterson wrote some years ago. He wrote this on Facebook. He says, did you know that about 20 years ago, the American Psychological Association published a paper showing that most people who were sexually abused as children recovered with very little psychological damage? This is an unsayable truth. You see, this is what I hate about people who are like, I love being politically incorrect. I am not PC. I am not PC. Because then everything that you don't like becomes PC. And everything that you like is anti-PC. And what you may see as anti-PC may come straight from the depths of hell. And people will say, hey, what the hell are you doing? You shouldn't be saying these things. And they'll be like, that's PC. You're being PC. So they use it. It's like the term Karen. Like the word Karen initially meant like an annoying woman who's a control freak or whatever. Now it's like white women are Karens and they're fat bitches and they're Karens. And you can have like a bunch of Mexican guys in a pool being rowdy and causing trouble. And some white woman is like, hey, enough. And they're like, Karen, you are Karen. You are a stupid Karen. And they use that to like slap you down, even when you have a legitimate concern. So that whole PC, non-PC thing is the same thing. It falls into the same category. It's just a way to shut people down. So if I say, Peterson, what the hell are you talking about? This is stuff that pedophiles teach. He'll be like, are you part of the PC crowd? Milo is the kind of person who no one acceptable socially should ever speak to, which I suppose is one of the reasons why I'm talking with him. So Milo said pedophilia is okay. It can be beneficial to some boys. And everybody was disturbed by this, as they should have been. I mean, I was very disturbed by it, right? It's very disturbing to defend pedophilia or pederasty in any capacity, right? In any way whatsoever. Like, this is something we should never tolerate. Because it's evil. That's it. Done. That's it. Bury it under the earth. That's it. Burn it with fire. That's my position. But this guy's like, well, I'm going to speak to Milo. And even though people are saying I shouldn't speak to him, I'm going to speak to him anyway. See, Milo was the canary in the coal mine. That's what Milo, Tor is T-O-R. T-O-R. That's what Tor, that's how you spell Tor. Download it. It takes a few seconds. It's free. It's a great search engine. Anyway, Milo was the canary in the coal mine. Milo exposed the conservative movement for what it is, and that is a bunch of bullshit artists who are willing to jump onto any fad and phase, regardless of how evil and abominable it is, because they know it can give them money. Okay, it's about money and corruption, and they're just evil. I think they're just purely evil people, and Milo exposed it. He came in and said he was the gay conservative. He was going to give it to the left. He was going to flick his nose or whatever, give the bird to the left. And all the conservatives were clapping their hands like a bunch of walruses and accepting him. And even when he defended pedophilia, you got people like Jordan Peterson defending him and Alex Jones. What does that tell me? It tells me they're creeps, right? So he says, the following videos, blah, 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 blah. So he mentions a study that was done 20 years ago by the American Psychological Association. You're telling me the same association that called pedophilia an orientation. That's what you're telling me. You're trusting those people. Oh, transgenders are bad, but the American Psychological Association that says that pedophilia is an orientation, that's fine. We should trust the science. That's insane. That's crazy. That's completely insane. I don't like this guy. I don't like Jordan Peterson. I think he's a sick bastard. And anyone who's like, I love the Jordan Peterson. Okay, I give them the benefit of the doubt. They got sucked into the cult. I try to help them. But if they're going to defend Jordan Peterson, even after this bullshit, this David Rubin shit and this Milo stuff, I shake the dust off my feet. I shake the dust off my feet. I'm done. I give up. The whole thing, everything is messed up. Everything is messed up, guys. You got pedophiles in the Vatican and the Catholic Church, literally a network of pedophiles. And it's not just in America. It's in Italy, it's in Argentina, it's in Mexico, it's in Chile, it's in Poland, it's in everywhere you go, it's there. and they say, oh, you should go to church. Theodore needs to go to church. He needs to go to church. So I went to church. I went to church for 6 years, almost 6 years. Went to Mass loyally, with dedication, with consistency. If I missed the Mass, I went to confession. I told the priest my sin. I told the priest what sins I did. I told the priest that I missed Mass. I told the priest that I was lazy. I told the priest that I was a man full of lust. I told the priest that I had a girlfriend and we kissed a bunch of times and we're not married and we shouldn't have done that. I did all that stuff. I did it all, right? I wasn't rebellious. I wasn't rebellious. I didn't go around with some crazy plan of being another Martin Luther. I didn't go around saying I'm gonna overtake the Pope or something. I defended the Pope. I debated Protestants. I stood up to the heretics. I faced the apostates. I did all sorts of stuff. I wrote entire articles defending the church. I wrote an entire book defending the church. And you know what? I wish I never wrote it. I spent 5 years, 6 years of my life writing that book. I wish I never wrote it. Honest to God, if I could take it all back, I would have just stopped after the second book. I wrote a good book called In Satan's Footsteps. It's a great book. I wrote a second book called For God or for Tyranny, which is another excellent book. I love that book. And I wrote it. I wrote both of those books with so much passion, so much dedication, so much inspiration. I wrote those books. And then I pushed myself like 5 or 6 years to write a book about Catholicism and the history of the church and all that stuff. I spent so many years reading various books and all this stuff, and I wish I never wrote it. Wish I never wrote it. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Sharon. Anyway. People told me to go to church. People said that I should go to church, and I did. People said that I should have fellowship, and I tried. And you know one thing I realized fairly quickly about Catholics? I realized fairly quickly that Catholics are extremely antisocial. They don't talk to people. They don't talk to people. Catholics don't talk to people. They're very cliquish. They are very reserved. And they're not very warm. They don't give a warm welcome to the newcomer. And it's not just the lay people who are this way. The Catholic priests are this way. Catholic priests are not very warm in their welcoming either. They're only warm when they're trying to sexually prey on you. And they just don't talk to you. Catholics don't talk to you. You try to talk to them, they're like, hi, yeah, I don't know. They don't talk to you. Evangelicals, very talkative. You walk into an evangelical church, hi, how are you doing? I haven't seen you here before. Are you new here? Wow, have a seat, have a coffee, have a donut. Let's talk. Let's have dinner after service. Wow. You can actually have a social circle. You can actually have fellowship with evangelicals. Non-denominational evangelicals are way nicer than Catholics. It's a fact. Wow. I remember I walked into a church. I was in California. I was doing a speaking engagement for some youth, young Christians, more like high school and I think college students were there. And I walked into the building and this woman walked up to me and she's like, "Hey, I haven't seen you here before." I'm like, "Well, I'm speaking, blah, blah, blah." "Oh, really? Wow, blah, blah, blah." And they were like way more welcoming. And it's amazing. You hear these horrific stories of priests preying on young men, preying on youths, preying on boys, and putting drugs in people's drinks and raping them, and horrific stories, right? Absolutely horrific stories. And they say you should go to church. And you have priests who are coming up to you saying, "Oh, yeah, you should come to Rome. Oh, that's a great idea. Oh, we can share a room together." What? What on earth are you talking about? That's insane. But you should go to church. And if you have an issue with the church, the congregants go against you. The congregants go against you when you have an issue with the priest. They go against you. It's sickening, guys. And the Catholic Church functions so much like a cult. It functions very much like a cult. It's horrible. It really is horrible. And it's like, how do I, what's the word? How do I reignite that zeal that I once had? You know? How do I reignite it? Because I had that before I became Catholic, I had this zeal. I read the Bible, I prayed, and then I became a Catholic, and I still had that zeal, and I prayed, and I did this, and then after being prayed upon by several different priests, it was so crazy. And I know that every time I tell this story, I know there are people out there who are, I know there are probably people out there who think that I'm making it up, but it's 100% true. Everything I say about this, every part of this story that I have said to you guys is true. I'm not making anything up. And here I am in limbo. I am in religious limbo. That's what's been happening. And maybe you guys don't know. Maybe you guys don't know what happened. But what happened was in 2013, I became a Catholic. And then in that same year, some priest, Father Kinsel, asked me to come to Rome. He said he would give a tour for me in Italy. It'll be great. He'll introduce me to Catholics. And I thought it was great. I thought it was a great idea. And then he asked me if I could share a room with him. He tells me all this crazy shit about homosexuality, like really disgusting things on the phone. And I'm like, what the hell is this guy talking about? And then I saw how the Diocese of Austin did jack diddly shit about it. And then there was another priest that I met, Father Yarbrough. He invited me over to talk with him. And then I looked his name up. I found out that he had sexually assaulted a young man after asking that man to come and talk to him in his office. And I exposed that guy. And the church went against me. You know, it's just so crazy. And before that, I was going to a church ran by a priest named Father Christopher Phillips. And it was later found out that Christopher Phillips was covering up for a pedophile named Deacon, I think his name is Deacon Robert Orr. Orr was a pedophile, and not too long after, or around the time that it was fully realized that this was the case, Robert Orr was found dead, and they never told the public how he died. He was a pedophile. They find him dead. The obituary says he's dead, but they don't give you the way of death. They don't tell you the cause of death. And the Diocese of San Antonio says, oh, it turns out that Mr. Orr was a pedophile. Well, how did he die? We don't know. Did he shoot himself? Did the Catholic Church kill him because he had a lot of shit? He had a lot of dirt on people? I don't know. It's insane, guys. This is insane that this has been happening. And Christopher Phillips was covering up for him for years. And I remember going to his church, and Phillips would go on and on and on about his school. We have to fund the school. We have to get the Catholic children a Catholic education. But the young boys in that school were avoiding Deacon Orr. Why were they avoiding him? Any class that Deacon Orr taught, the young boys didn't want to be in that classroom because they knew he was a predator. And the parents were begging Christopher Phillips to do something about it, and Christopher Phillips didn't do shit about it. I went to Italy. I saw some crazy shit over there. Some gay monk asked me to dance with him, did a disgusting biting gesture towards my hand. I was having dinner, and the monk was sitting next to me, and the monk was like, with like Hannibal Lecter, biting. He did this biting gesture very close to my hand. It was so creepy. Very bizarre. The Mother Superior was into the occult. I mean, it was very, very bizarre. Extremely bizarre. She told us, one of my closest friends is a Kabbalist master, and he's a saint. And she talked about how she believed that God has feminine and masculine energies. And then in the church that she was in, the monastery that she was in San Marino in Italy, there was like weird erotic artwork on the walls. I mean, it was so bizarre, like very bizarre. Naked men on the walls and creepy shit. Absolutely creepy shit, guys. Very creepy stuff. So I've seen, firsthand how corrupt the Catholic Church, the Roman Catholic Church is. So it's like right now I'm in limbo. I am just in limbo. You know what I mean? I'm in limbo. So I'm trying right now, I'm working to reignite that relationship with God that I used to have. I'm working on it, really working on it. Because I really need that. It's heartbreaking. It really is heartbreaking to see how fucked up everything is. Anyway. You guys just heard some theology. That's a clip right there. That's a clip right there into itself. Let's get a drink, shall we? Let's get a drink. We need an inquisition? Absolutely. It's the synagogue of Satan. Yeah, you're right. It is. People need an exorcist. They need more than an exorcist, trust me. Pray and follow the commandments. I agree. Right there with you. Yeah. It's insane. It really is sound, guys. I remember when I got preyed upon, how do I leave the church when I know the truth? And how do I stay when I've also experienced the truth? This is the way I see it. I think if you can find yourself a priest who's righteous, who's not a predator, who says the truth, I don't see a reason to leave. But if it's just like over and over again, like every priest you go to, every priest you see is a sodomite, is a predator, you shouldn't go. You shouldn't go to those churches. I don't think, if you know for a fact that the priest is a sodomite predator, you shouldn't go to that church. It's a mockery to God. I would like to meet the congregation of the Mother Superior. The congregation of the Mother Superior. Yeah, well, it's a bunch of Italians. I mean, that's it. It's a bunch of typical Italians. What do you think of Catholic sedevacantists? I think some of them probably have good intentions. I remember when I was in the SSPX, I met a lot of people who were just decent people who just were sick and tired of the weird shit from the Vatican. They just wanted to go to they wanted to go to a traditional Catholic mass, and they weren't necessarily bad people. But the problem is that a lot of these sedevacantists or these like SSPXers are just straight up Nazis. They get way too much into the right-wing stuff. Okay, well, let's hear. I have to address this. Hold on. I have to address this one. I go to Mass for Jesus, not the priest. Okay, but if the priest is like sodomizing a dude before the Mass, and he gives you, and you know that this is the fact, right? You know this is the truth. I don't believe Jesus is in the sacrifice at that point. I don't believe it. I can't believe that. I cannot believe that Jesus is in the sacrifice. You know, I don't believe that Jesus is there. I just don't. I don't. Once you have something as evil as is the internet out? Hold on. Okay. Ted wanted a priest to pray for him, not pray on him. Yeah. Yeah. Here we go. Let's get something to drink, gentlemen. I'm gonna play some bar music.
На раскаленном до бела в моем лице кипит слеза. Там за белой рекой под прошлогодней листвой я найду твои следы, иду за тобой, иду. Я не забуду эту боль, я не забуду стыд и страх, когда я камнем падал вниз в тобою данных орденах. Там за белой рекой под прошлогодней листвой я найду твои следы. Безмолвной тенью на стене застыну я в немой тоске. Сбежала капля по стеклу, сухие листья на снегу. Там за белой рекой под прошлогодней листвой я найду твои следы. Иду за тобой, иду. Там за белой рекой под прошлогодней листвой я...
Guys, this song is so sublime and so beautiful that I cannot truly, fully fathom its beauty and the transcendent tone by which it brings my mind to a higher plane of existence. So delicate, so elegant, so gentle, so sweet. What am I drinking? Beer made from the roots of burdock. Fermented burdock tea. Absolutely delicious. You can hear the spirit of humanity expressing itself through this music. Now, there is a piece of music that I would like to share with you guys. It's an Italian song. I want to share it with you guys. I gotta sign in? What? What? I want to share it with you guys. Whatever. I gotta sign in? What? What? Guys, can you... Okay, I think you guys can still see me. It's weird. YouTube just automatically signed me out. Maybe because I'm playing this song. I don't know. I want to play for you guys this song. It is by... It's by Fabi Silvestri Gazze. I don't know why it's so hard to find this damn song. Oh, Nickelback is coming. Verify it's me. What a bunch of crap. Hold on. Yeah, not now, YouTube. I'm not in the mood. I got a song to play. Dang it. I got people to entertain. Here we go. Music. You know what one of my simple pleasures in life is? One of my simple pleasures in life is to take super hot salsa made from fresh habaneros, put it in a bowl, have a nice plate of warm tortilla chips, very cold beer, and I'm listening to the Police, the band. I'm listening to Sting. I'm listening to Police. I'm listening to that song, Message in a Bottle. You know, just a castaway, and I am lost at sea. Oh yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Here we go. Hold on a second, guys. Where's the damn song? Here it is. The name of this song is called Contro un'onda del mare. It was recorded in 1946. Guys, I absolutely love this song. This song is a masterpiece. It is. It is seriously a masterpiece. And I want to play for you guys the song, but then at the same time I want to stop it so that way YouTube doesn't close my account. But at the same time, I also want to just tell you guys what this song is saying. So I want to play for you guys the song. So the name of the song is Contro un'onda del mare, which means going against the sea, going against the ocean. I'm moving against the tide. And I'm going to try to find an English translation for this song. Try to find an English translation for it. Here we go. Where the hell is the lyrics for this damn song? The text. Dang it, I hate this. Where's this damn thing? Hold on. Don't you speak Spanish? It's not Spanish, it's Italian. I'm sorry about this, guys. Hold on. I think this is it here. Oh-ho! Actually, there's not a lot of carbs in this beer because it's made from a root that the only carbohydrate that it has is inulin. And inulin, yes, it is a starch, but it's not super rich in starch. There's not a whole lot of starch in this stuff. But it's delicious, I'll tell you that right now. Best tasting beer I've ever had. Okay, hold on. Against the Wave. A glow given to this sun. Oh, that's the name of the song. Okay, hold on. So the name of the album is Going Against the Sea. The name of the song is called Il bagliore dato a questo sole. Something about the sun. Oh, I found the lyrics. So, the glow given to this sun. That is the name of this song. I absolutely love the song. I love the lyrics. and I'm going to play it for you guys. I love this song. To me, the song is just a masterpiece, but I want to hear your guys' opinion on it. Here we go.
Ho visto fiere rondini.
So in this part of the song, he is saying, I saw fierce swallows burning with passion. But the way that it starts, the song commences with this beautiful 1980s feeling. You're hearing nostalgia. You're hearing melancholy. Let's hear it.
Bruciare di passione, volando basse e rapide.
So here he says, flying low and fast, laughing softly. And I saw them talking.
Ridendo piano e le ho viste stanche da frante posarsi sul mio balcone.
And he says, and I saw them tired and heartbroken land on my balcony. So he's talking about these two birds that are in love, and the birds land on his balcony. And you're getting such an Italian image. Like, if you ever see Italy, I mean, Italy, I think there's more people in Italy living in apartments than homes. There's not a lot of people who own a house in Italy. There's a lot of people who are renting apartments in Italy. So there's a lot of balconies. There's just balconies everywhere in Italy. So you're just imagining like these two birds, and the birds land on your balcony, and you're imagining like this depressed Italian guy smoking a cigarette, and he's seeing these two birds land on his balcony, and it's just but then you're hearing this background guitar, and you're hearing this melancholy, you're hearing this sadness, and it's so there's something so beautiful about it. Imagining like this.
Le ho sentite parlare.
So he says here, holding hands. I heard them talking, holding hands.
Tenendosi per mano.
And I love that. He says talking, and he repeats it. Per mano. Pa 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 da na da da.
Ho paura di cadere, disse la più bella, di scoprire che i miei voli sono stati di cartone. Di scoprire chi ha creato quella stella.
And there's something very beautiful about the Italian language. It just goes so well with music. But he says, I saw these birds. They landed on my balcony. I heard them talking, holding hands. I'm afraid of falling, said the most beautiful, of discovering that my flights were made of cardboard, of discovering who created the star, that from above observes everything, like Dido's eye. Dido was the Phoenician princess who burned herself alive in Virgil's Aeneid because Virgil rejected her romantic advances. And so the story is that Virgil, he left Troy with a boat full of Trojan refugees because the Greeks, the Achaeans or whatever they were called, destroyed Troy. So they get on the boat, they sail, and then they land in North Africa. And then while they're in North Africa, Aeneas meets with this Phoenician princess who, her name is Dido, and she's in love with Aeneas, and Aeneas rejects her romantic advances, and Dido burns herself alive, and then Aeneas and his people, they get on their ship or ships, and they're sailing away. And as they're sailing away far from the shore, they can still see the billowing cloud of smoke from Dido's burning body. Would you rather have to pay for water at restaurants or have no free have no free refills. I would pay for water. I need my free refills.
Che dall'alto osserva tutto come l'occhio di bidone. La più piccola l'ascolta, ali chiuse, sguardo spento, forse impreparata ad un tema così amaro. E lei non parla, ed io leggo in volto il verso del giaguaro.
Such a powerful chorus. So in the chorus, he's saying libere, which means free, and he's saying free to live, free to listen, free to listen to the illusions of the mind and soul, free from thoughts, free from the reflections of the mind and soul, free to listen to the reasons inside the heart and the soul. And it's so beautiful. I love this. I love that I love those words. I love this poetry that is expressing this desire to listen to what the heart is saying or to what the soul is saying. And I just love this. There's this slight pause after the chorus, and this pause transitions into the next verse. And he says, ba, 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 ba. He's saying, in these days in black and white, crumpled inside drawing sheets where two colors were enough to look at, family photos, and there I saw all the flights with stiff wings like marble fossils. It would take a wet wind to fill the spaces, left to the agony of the infinite to extinguish the glow given to this sun. It's beautiful words.
Sti giorni in bianco e nero accartocciati dentro fogli da disegno, dove due colori son bastati per guardare le foto di famiglia, e lì ho visto tutti i voli con le ali irrigidite come fossili di marmo. Ci vorrebbe un vento bagnato che riempia gli spazi lasciati all'agonia dell'infinito e che svenga il bagno redato a questo sole.
I give this song a solid 10 out of 10. It's a masterpiece. It's beautiful. It's poetic. It's smooth. It has that 1980s melancholic noise that I just absolutely love. Beautiful, beautiful music. But what do you guys rate it? What is Joshua George gives it a 7.1 out of 10. And does anybody else have an opinion on this song? Good shit. I think this song is a 10 out of 10. I think it's a masterpiece. I think it's beautiful. It has rhythm. It has structure. But at the same time, there's a lot of expression. There's a lot of beauty in it. There's a sense of freedom in it, but there's a sense of rage. And at the same time, there's a sense of soaring above the clouds in your desire for freedom. Freedom of the mind, freedom of the soul. It's a beautiful song. And so with a 10 out of 10, I greet you. I mean, there you go. Pure tropium. I don't know. Your opinion is just, I don't know. Your opinion to me, it just doesn't make any sense. But that's your opinion. Okay, whatever. You know, that's your opinion. I know you said the name, but can you print it somewhere? 10 out of 10. Awesome. Sure, yeah. Can you see the link? Brainstorm gives it a 3 out of 10. Okay. I put the link to the song in the chat. I rate it 7 out of 10. It sounds a bit forced. No, I don't get that feeling at all. If you guys want to recommend to me your guys' musical recommendations, please do so. Go ahead. Free reign. This is the music hour. So please, if you want to recommend to me music, let's do it. Oh, it means Boombar means Italian. Okay. You can see the link. Awesome. So guys, yeah, this is music time. This is the jukebox. Music time. This is music hour. So here we go. I'm gonna wait for your guys' recommendations. Here we go. Let's do this. Too much passion for birds and a simp. Okay. Chopo gave me a song. The internet is slow right now. Internet is... Okay, let's listen to this. Oh, I know this song. It's a Chilean song, right? Yep. There's actually a better version of this song that I can play. Yeah. This version isn't that great. There's a better version of this. Let me show it to you guys. From Chile. I know this song. I'm very familiar with it. Yeah, this version is slow. It's not very good. There's a version of this song by Mercedes Sosa that's much better. I'll play it for you guys here. This is a way better version of this song. Let me play it for you guys here. I'll show you guys my little screen here. We can watch it together. Here we go, guys. This is a much better version, actually, of this song. Dang it. Here I am. There we are. Here I am. Okay, let's listen to this.
Violeta Parra era chilena. Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto.
Yeah, see, you gave me this version that's like, ah, gracias. But this song, this version has way more power in it. There's way more power in this one. I want to get this thing like, yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want to hear.
Me dio dos luceros que cuando las abro perfecto distingo lo negro del blanco y en el alto cielo su fondo estrellado y en las multitudes el hombre que yo amo.
Yeah, you see that guitar and that voice is very Chilean, very Argentinian. They have a certain, like, I know when a song is from Argentina or Chile. I just hear it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a Chilean, that's an Argentinian.
Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto, me ha dado el sonido y el abecedario con él las palabras que pienso y declaro. Madre, amigo, hermano y luz alumbrando la ruta del alma del que estoy amando.
Yeah. There's a lot of power in this song. It's a little left wing. It has a left wing vibe to it, but there's a lot of power. But so what would you guys rate this Chilean song, Gracias a la Vida by Mercedes Sosa? I give this song, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's pretty good. Let's see here. Alpine Wonder. Hold on. Joshua says, hold on. Somebody recommended to me Alpine Wonder. Okay, let's listen to Alpine Wonder here. I don't promise that I'm going to like the songs that you guys recommend, though. I'm just letting you know. Here we go. Alpine Wonder. Okay, what's the song? I'm not getting any songs here. Alpine, Foolish. Alpine, Wonder. I'm not really getting. I'm getting Alpine, Foolish. Alpine, Gasoline. I'm getting Alpine, Villagers. I'm not getting anything else here. So you got to help me out here. Alpine, what? What's the song? Is this the one, Wonder? WNDR, Alpine? Or what? I don't know. What's the song? You got to help me out here. Wander with an A. Okay. Not getting anything. I'm not getting jack diddly squat. Alpine, Wander song. The Wanderer. You got to help me out, buddy. Can you give me a link? Is it Alpine? Is this the one, Alpine? It doesn't exist. I'm not seeing this anywhere. Type Alpine Wander. Okay, on YouTube, it doesn't. I'm not seeing anything. Oh, I see. Okay, Alpine, not Alpine. Okay, let's listen to this. Okay, so this is some lo-fi stuff. It sounds like lo-fi music. Okay. This is like good music if you're working on something, you know, you're installing tile or hardwood floor, you'd play this just to make a chill atmosphere. I don't really I'm not really gonna listen to this music like just to listen to it. You know, it has to be like a certain setting. Yeah, it's very chill. I'll give it that. It's not a bad song. It's very relaxing, this music. Yeah, very relaxing. It's good for if you're studying or you're reading something, you're writing. This is fine. Yeah, it's okay. I give this song like maybe a 6 out of 10. Yeah, 6 out of 10. All right, what else do you guys have? I'm really just... Okay, Joshua George recommended a song, Die Born by Day of the New. Okay. Here we go.
I am cold and I don't know why. Said you gotta keep me
This isn't bad. I'm getting like a country kind of rock grunge sound.
warm.
This song is from 2001. Oh man, this is ancient.
You will run from my eyes. They stare you down and make you burn. I am the king of the jungle. I'm the little dog. Say the king of the jungle makes me hum.
Not bad. Nice.
I will not die born, and I will not go down. This is not my home, and it feels at all. And it feels at all. And it feels at all. And it feels at all.
All right, it's okay. I give it a 5 out of 10. It's just nothing, there's nothing really special about this music. It's okay. It has a nice beginning to it. What else do we got here? The original actually had a Chilean instrument backing it. Great. Wonderful. How about Rio Rio Chio? I think I've heard this song. This is some medieval stuff. Rio Rio ta da 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 na da da na da na da ra da na da na da na da 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 na da ra da 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 na na da na da ba da ba. See, I know this song already because I used to be a huge medievalist, but let's give it a listen. I knew it. Rio Rio Chio la parapanata.
Rio Rio Chio la guardaribera, Dios guardó el lobo de nuestra cordera. Dios guardó el lobo de nuestra cordera. El lobo rabioso la quiso morder, mas los toreros ahora supo defender. Quiso la hacer que no pudiese pecar, pero original esta dicha no tuviera. Rio Rio Chio la guardaribera.
I would say this is the best song recommended to me so far. I give it a 7.5 out of 10. It has its nice little rhythm to it, but it's not like the greatest song ever. What else do we have here, guys? I'm just VHS Collection 1. Is this a song? Okay, let's hear this. VHS Collection. Okay, is this some lo-fi stuff?
Wake up, the white lights are calling. The weight of the world is pressing down. Watch out, the skyline is falling. Transmission is lost into the ground. For so long, I've
Not bad.
been hoping one day we could run away. Wild eyes got lost forever. Just know I'll find you anyway. I've been waiting so long, I was holding up in the dark, up in at the bar. With broken glass in my hand, we've been bleeding out. Wait for the night to start. Till we are one. So we just stare into the sun. Cold like the metal of a gun.
It's okay.
Never know until we run. Till we are lost now.
I gave it like a 6.5 out of 10. It's okay. It's not the best. It's a little bit too in your face. You know, there's not a lot of variety in the song. It's just boom, like a spaceship. What else do we have here? Oh yeah, Chopo sent me something. Okay, let's listen to this. Oh yeah, I know this song. Yeah, this is a classic Chilean communist song. Ra-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-ra-ra.
Un ojo dejé en los lagos por un descuido casual. El otro quedó en parral en un
Oh yeah, it's a classic. It's a very good piece of music.
boliche de tragos.
Yep, I know this piece very well. I'm very familiar with it.
Recuerdo que mucho estrago de niño vio el alma mía.
Miserias y alevosías anudan mis pensamientos. Entre las aguas y el viento me pierdo en la lejanía. Mi brazo
Yeah, it's all left-wing music. It's okay. It's not bad. Musically, it's very nice.
derecho fue inquieto, señores oyentes. El otro fue San Vicente, quedó no sé con qué fin.
Mi pecho en Curacautí, lo veo en un jardincillo. Mis manos
I'm not really a tough critic. It's just there's certain preferences that I have, and everybody has their own preferences. For you, that song's okay. I give that song probably a good solid 9 out of 10. It's a very good piece of music. Let's hear some more. For You by Full of Envy. Okay.
Open up, don't waste your days. Find another way to live and face all your reasons here and blame all your restless days. If I could run a million miles from here, I'd pick you.
I like how it starts heavy and then it softens up in the chorus. I like that. I like that variation. Okay, so we have a heavy guitar solo. But I like the chorus. It's very nice. Nice. I like it. Have you guys read about what's been going on in Nagorno-Karabakh? It's heartbreaking what has been going on. I wanted to talk to you guys about this. I almost forgot, but I really want to talk to you guys about what has been going on in Nagorno-Karabakh in what is technically Azerbaijan, but historically is part of Armenia. There has been a brutal blockade that's been going on for months. I've talked about this before. It is vicious. It's cruel. It is genocidal. The Azeri government has been blocking the Armenians from receiving food and medicine, and people have been living off of whatever the farmers have been growing in Nagorno-Karabakh. The Russians and the Red Cross were initially allowed to transport food and medicine into Nagorno-Karabakh, but the Azeris have blocked the Red Cross and have blocked the Russian peacekeepers from transporting food and medicine for the ethnic Armenians living in Nagorno-Karabakh. They are people who are living off of whatever grain they have left in their house, buckwheat. People are living off of whatever the farmers grow, and because the farmers are one of the very few, or really the only source of fresh produce in Nagorno-Karabakh, where the Armenians live in Nagorno-Karabakh, the price of the vegetables are very, very high. People are forced to stand for hours just for some bread, and it's just absolutely sickening what the Azeris have been doing. The Azeris are just cruel, and they want the Armenians to leave. That is the goal. The goal is to make it so miserable for the Armenians that the Armenians will just leave and go to mainland Armenia. They want to ethnically cleanse Nagorno-Karabakh from. They want to ethnically cleanse all of the Armenians from Nagorno-Karabakh. They want to get rid of them. They want to push them out, and it's just so evil what's been happening over there. Very evil, and I just wanted to talk to you guys about it, because it is very important. And I know some people who live in Armenia. I know a doctor who, last I talked to her, she was operating in Nagorno-Karabakh. I interviewed her. You can watch my interview with her. I did it back in 2020, but I want to speak to her, see what her perspective on the situation is on the ground, and maybe there's something that we can do to help people there. I want to see what we can do. I really feel bad for the people there. It's just it's literally a policy of ethnic cleansing, what's been going on in that region. And now Armenians who want to go to the hospital for emergency purposes, they have to be searched at a checkpoint to see if they actually have medical problems. They want to search people to see, they want to make sure that they actually have medical issues, and all that's going to do is prolong the person's suffering. You know, could Russia do airdrops of food? I don't know. See, the thing is that Russia wants to maintain diplomatic ties with Azerbaijan, because Azerbaijan is a very strong ally with Turkey. So Russia wants to maintain diplomatic ties with Turkey and Azerbaijan, even though they're enemies, really. And plus, Russia can't afford to have. Russia cannot afford right now to be fighting two different fronts, fighting in Ukraine and then fighting in the in the South Caucasus at the same time. It would be just too difficult. Logistically speaking, it would be too difficult for Russia. It would just drain Russia so much of its manpower. So there's really not much Russia can do at this point. But it's just heartbreaking what's been happening, guys. So heartbreaking. But yeah, I wanted to get that off my chest. I suggest that you guys look into this stuff and read up on what's been happening over there. It's just so awful. It is definitely ethnic cleansing. Andres Lopez, who are you talking to? Whose foreign policy is bullshit? I'm trying to understand. Anyway, what song recommendations do you guys have? Anika von Giersbergen, We Live On. This rock song is not bad. It has a nice chorus. Let's listen to this one. Anika von Giersbergen, We Live On. I like it. I like that style. I like female vocals go so well with rock. They just do. They just go perfectly. If you listen to Evanescence or Flyleaf or Spirit Box or Stratum, if you listen to these bands, they mix the female vocals with the heavy rock and roll, and there's just it just fits so perfectly well to put together the softness of the female voice with the heaviness of the instruments. I think they go very well together.
Never really tried to make it alright. I realize that all this time I could have done you right. Put up a fight. Let's start tonight. 'Cause we live on, we will be strong. And we don't have to be alone. 'Cause we live on, we've just begun. Tell me
I like the verses. The chorus is not really that great, but I like there's some songs I notice where the verse is better than the chorus, and this is one of them. The verse is nice. The chorus is a little bit too, it seems rushed, but I like this verse.
we don't have to hide anymore. Tell me why didn't I have faith?
I like these verses. It sounds like an ATB song, like a European trance song. I really like it.
Why did I fall? Was it nothing at all? And all this time, I couldn't believe when you told me it's never too late.
I like it. I like that little moment of passion there. I like that. Listen to it again. Let's listen to it again.
I couldn't believe when you told me it's never too late. We'll start today. 'Cause we live on, we will be strong. And we don't have to be alone. 'Cause we live on, we've just begun.
like that. I just love this instrument. I don't know what to call it. It's like this nice background guitar. I don't know exactly what to call this style, but it's so relaxing. ATB uses it. The Police uses it. It's just something's very beautiful about it. Let's listen to more.
All my life, I never wondered why I wasn't doing alright. But I will not hide. 'Cause we live on, we will be strong. And we don't have to be alone. 'Cause we live on, we've just begun. And we don't have to hide anymore.
I give this song a good. I give it a good. I don't know, 7.5 out of 10. It's not bad. Let's listen to someone recommended Another Race by Eiffel 65. Okay, let's listen to this.
It's another race around space. It's another race. It's another race around space. It's another race away. It's another race. It's another race.
I mean, it has this sort of like early 2000s, late 90s sound to it.
They seem to walk on air, and they act pretty strange. They live around us. The race away.
I mean, it's okay. It's not bad. I give it like, I don't know, 6 out of 10. What else do you guys have? Somebody said something here. Crom in My World. Okay. All right. Somebody asked the question, do you think electronic techno music is designed to put you in a trance-like state? Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's almost like a drug.
Find your way in this cruel world. Make it safe and don't look back. You can feel it's time to change.
This is something that I would have listened to back in like 2003. I used to love listening to this kind of music.
Although you're lost, you still go on. There's no time to suffer. It may be the last day here on earth. If you want to be in my world, just believe and spread my word. I've come to see through your eyes, find the curse of all your lies. Feeling numb and incomplete. This is more than
like it. I like it. I give this a good, I don't know, I would give it maybe a good 7.5, maybe an 8 out of 10. I would say this is really good. Guys, I want to play for you guys a song that's really close to my heart, and then I have to get, I actually have to get going, but I want to play for you guys this song. It's called Too Bad by Nickelback. This is probably Nickelback's best song. It was one of my favorite songs growing up, and I want to play it for you guys because it's such a masterpiece. I absolutely love this song, and I would argue that Too Bad by Nickelback is Nickelback's best song. Let's listen. It starts out with this like haunting guitar. Ding, 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 ding. I love the first lyrics. Father's sins are lined with dirt. Father's hands are lined with dirt from long days in the field. So his father works in the farm. Mother works serving meals in a cafe on Main Street with mouths to feed. Just trying to put clothing on our back. And all I hear about it. Oh, it's such a beautiful song. Let's hear some more. So we had our time to rewind. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. And the voice echoes. And then it transitions into the verse. So perfectly done. You left without saying goodbye, although I'm sure you tried, right? You call the house from time to time to make sure we're alive. So it's really about this very cold relationship between father and son, right? That's what it's about. I mean, Nickelback used to make such great music. Now they're making like strip club music, but they used to make such good songs. You know, you weren't there right when I needed you the most. There's something primal and yet beautiful at the same time about this song. I just love it. And now I dream about it. And I was so bad, it's so bad, it's too bad, it's too bad, too late, so wrong, so long. Too bad we had no time to rewind. Let's walk, let's talk. It's so bad, it's too bad, it's too bad. And the chorus just prolongs itself. It's too bad, it's too bad. Too late, so wrong, so long. Too bad we had no time to rewind. Let's walk, let's talk. And it goes into this guitar solo, right? And the guitar solo is used to transition into the second phase of the song. So this is what I love about this piece of music. And then it stops, and then it basically goes back to the way that the song began. So it goes back to that string movement. Just let's hear it. And it's poetry. This song is poetry. So the song begins with Father's hands are lined with dirt from long days in the field. And then it goes off into this verse, into the chorus, and then it goes into this guitar solo, and then it transitions back to the way that it began, but it changes slightly the words, the prose, the lyrics have changed just by a little bit, but that little change makes all the difference. He said, now he is saying, Father's hands are lined with guilt for tearing us apart. So before it's, Father's hands are lined with dirt from long days in the field. And now he's saying,
Hands lined with guilt.
it's from dirt, it goes to guilt. So there's this poetic creativity in there that's just, it's very, very, it's very beautiful. I love it.
For tearing us apart. Guess it turned out in the end. Just look at where we are. We made it out.
And so now, see, in the first verse, he says, Father's hands are lined with dirt from long days in the field. Mother works serving meals in a cafe on Main Street with mouths to feed, just trying to put clothing on our backs. And here he's saying, we made it out. We still got clothing on our backs. So the second verse connects poetically with the first. It's a very creatively done piece of music. It's very artistic. Let's hear some more.
We still got clothing on our backs. And now I scream about it. And now it's so bad, it's so bad, it's so bad, it's so bad, it's too bad, it's too bad, too late, so long, so long. It's too bad we had no time to rewind. Let's walk, let's look. It's so bad, it's too bad, it's too bad, it's too late, it's so wrong, so long. It's too bad we had no time to rewind. Let's walk, let's look.
Solid 10 out of 10. Everything about this song I love. It's just the way it begins, the way it ends, the way it transitions. I just love it. I love how they build this space in between the two phases of the song. The song is two phases. One is Father's hands are lined with dirt. The second phase is Father's hands are lined with guilt. And there's this guitar solo that builds space between the two, and it transitions into the second phase. And the second phase is a return to the first part of the song, but it's a little bit different lyrically, and it's beautiful. It's a good song. Yeah, it is. Catherine gives it a 10. Absolutely. Rusty gives it an 8 out of 10. Every one of those strip clubs also has father issues. This is played at Uyghur camps. If this is played in Uyghur camps, then they're having a good time over there in China. Higher by Creed. We've all heard Higher by Creed. Come on. Have a good night. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. He's speaking English. Blah, blah, blah. Rock Out Theo. Absolutely. It's a good song. I think this song is poetic and amazing. How it is not a Bug fan of course. I think the song is poetic and amazing. However, it is not a Bug fan of the chorus. Could you close the stream with the song Parting Glass? Okay, let's see. Hold on. Hold on. Before we finish this song, I got to give my thoughts on something here. Okay? Hold on. This song, by Nickelback, I love this song. It sounds so freaking good. It's just, there's passion, there's melancholy, there's this harrowing sound to it, there's bittersweetness to it. There's beauty, there's just so much depth in this song.
Father sands a line with dirt from
love this song. It's so perfect. And what's so funny, guys, I appreciate that. I try to give you guys the best research here. I try my best. I've got 8 works of work to go. Hot damn, dude. I can't be streaming for 8 more hours. I hate autocorrect and my fat fingers. I'm not a big fan of the chorus. Okay. Yeah, the verses are very nice, right? I think the verse is better than the chorus in this song. But I do enjoy the chorus nonetheless. But I want to share with you guys my thoughts on something. Okay? There is in this song a depth of creativity, poetry. There's just a lot of there's a lot of creativity in it. And the last time I did a stream, somebody sent me a song by Sabaton. And I hated the song. I thought the song just sucked. I hated it. I don't remember the name of the song. I do not remember what the name of it was. I do remember that it sucked, and I do remember that it sounded like shit. And I said that Sabaton is garbage. I said it. And I said that the song, I think it's garbage. I said I think that that Sabaton sucks as a band. And I think that... I said that I think that all the Sabaton songs sound alike. I think the songs are obnoxiously boring. And I said that on my last live stream. So somebody asked me, or sorry, nobody asked me, sorry. I told myself that I should take that clip from the live stream and then make it into a separate video. So that's what I did. And I didn't expect to get any really serious backlash for it, but the video got over 2,000 views so far. And there's a lot of nasty comments in there. People telling me that I should kill myself. And I've had several Sabaton fans tell me that I should actually commit suicide, which is a very evil thing to tell somebody. And here's the thing that I don't understand about the Sabaton fans and people like them. Why are they so sensitive? You know, they're the types of people who would call other people snowflakes, or they would accuse people of being SJW, liberal cucks, or something like that. But yet, you know, a little bit of criticism towards their favorite band, and they start telling that critic to go commit suicide. I mean, they're literally telling me to go murder myself. They're saying that I should murder myself simply because I have a difference in musical preference. Now, a lot of people have told me that Nickelback sucks. A lot of people have told me, Ted, Nickelback sucks. And you know what my answer to those people is? My answer is you're missing out. And I actually feel bad for you because Nickelback is such a great band. I love their music, especially Silver Side Up. It's one of the best albums I've ever heard in my life. I love that album. It's their best album. I love How You Remind Me. I love Someday. I love Photograph. I love Too Bad. I love all these songs. There's songs of my childhood. These were songs that I was listening to when I was in middle school. And I still love listening to this music. And if somebody told me, Ted, I think Nickelback sucks and I think all their songs sound the same, I would say, you know what? I think you're missing out. But I would never tell anybody to murder themselves. I would never tell anybody to kill themselves. And the fact that the Sabaton fans are so quick to anger and they're so quick to expressing violent and murderous rage tells me about the marketplace of the Sabaton music. It tells me about the audience of this band. A lot of you guys are degenerates. A lot of you guys are sick bastards. And I said in the video, I said, I don't want to listen to this Nazi garbage. Now, I said that somewhat in jest. I said that in a way that, I knew, because Sabaton fans are the types of people that would say, that's not a Nazi, that's from the 1354 war when Sweden went to war with Norway or whatever, some bullshit like that. But, and I knew that that's how Sabaton fans would respond to anyone saying that the Sabaton music is Nazi music. But the fact is that they made a song about the Wehrmacht, and that to me is a little weird. It's a little sus, if you know what I mean. But I called it. I said, this is just some Nazi bullshit music, and people were telling me that I should kill myself. I mean, that is just weird. That's just. Yeah, they're just weirdos. They're just absolute weirdos. I would never tell anyone that they should kill themselves, ever. I think that's just, even if you don't even mean it, I think it's a terrible thing to tell somebody. But Sabaton fans are crazy. You guys are legit nuts. I think that Sabaton's music, generally speaking, appeals to LARPer weirdos. Just LARPing weirdos. They want to sing about some shit that happened back in the 30 Years' War. 30 Years' War is something that I have personally read about. I read about how, there was a defenestration of Prague, and Norway entered the war, Norway got its ass kicked, and Sweden entered the war, and the Catholics and the Protestants butchered each other for decades, and then they had some bullshit Peace of Westphalia, which really didn't settle that much of anything, and no one really won that war, right? It was kind of a what's the word? I mean, I forget the word, but it was a conflict that was sort of stalling itself because so many people were dying on both sides. I mean, there wasn't really a whole lot of winning on both sides, and you had mercenaries who came along and they were fighting for the Catholics, and then they were captured by the Protestants, and the Protestants paid them to fight the Catholics, and they were just constantly switching sides depending on who was paying them or who captured them, and it was just a very stupid war. I hate the 30 Years' War. I think it's one of the biggest loads of bullshit. I hate that war so much. It was not a war for righteousness. It was a war for territory and power. And the Protestants were all about power. Protestants were all about taking that territory. And the French intervened. The French intervened. And the only reason why the French intervened in the 30 Years' War was because they wanted to take the territory from the Habsburgs. And the Frenchies sided with the Protestants, because they wanted the Protestants to win so that they can take territory from the Catholic Habsburgs. So it had nothing to do with religion and everything to do with land and power and greed and all this bullshit. It was a big gang war, big turf war between gangsters. That's all it was. A stalemate. That's the word I'm looking for. It was kind of a stalemate. Like, nobody was really winning, and both sides were like, okay, let's end this because people are just dying. That's all they're doing. It's a stupid war. Yeah, so the Sabaton fans, they're the types of people that are like, you're a cock, snowflake. But somebody criticizes their music, and they are just so quick to speak violence. Like, they're so quick to recommend violence and to push somebody to do violence. That tells me everything. Like, you have a very weird, fragile position in your musical preferences there. So Sabaton fans suck. I think they suck, and I hate their music, and it's garbage. And Nickelback is superior to Sabaton, everybody. Nickelback is superior to Sabaton. It is. Sabaton, okay. Here, let's give an example. Let's do this, guys. Let's freaking do this. Let's play a Sabaton song. Let's play some bullshit. Let's play a bullshit Sabaton song. Let's pick a song. Let's pick the stupid Wehrmacht song, okay? Let's pick this song here. I mean, automatically, it's just hitting you with, there's no creativity. It's just hitting you with these loud shots. It's like something out of, it's like something out of some N64 video game. It's like, bomb, bomb, bomb. There's no beauty. There's no transcendence. There's no elegance at all in this music. This is not elegant music. This is uncivil music. It's barbaric music. It's crap. Let's hear some more. Yeah, there's nothing beautiful. I mean, Korn made way better music than this. Korn made this one song. I remember it was called "Make Me Bad." It was the first Korn song I ever heard. I was in middle school when I heard it, and it was like, I am watching the rise and fall of my salvation. And then it hits this chorus. It's like, I got the feel. And it just hits you, right? It's like, boom, boom, boom. It's explosive. It's beautiful. It's heavy. It's dark, but at the same time, there's this beauty to it, you know. But this music, there's no beauty at all in this music. There's no creativity. It's just bum, 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 bum. Listen, this music sounds like it could have come from the Iranian government, okay? Have you ever heard Iranian propaganda music? That's what it sounds like. It's like bum, 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 bum. You see the Iranian girls practicing karate, and they're like, we're going to defeat Israel, guys. We're going to, defeat all the Jews. Some bullshit. Let's hear this more. Let's listen to this bullshit. Let's listen to this bullshit. Let's listen to this. What about Austrian Painter's cover, What is Love? I don't know what that even means. Prodigy. Can you listen to Alex Jones metal? Bias much? Of course, everybody has preferences, so this is my preferences. You have your own preferences. I'm sure you think a lot of songs suck. I don't know what the message of this song is. The message is like, the Wehrmacht are poor victims of the evil of the Third Reich, so we kind of like have to feel bad for them. I don't know what the message is. It's like there's no rest in this music. It's like ba 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 ba. And there's no transitions. There's no rest. There's no buffer. But yeah, whereas when you listen to this song from Silver Side Up, let's listen to this. It's like right there. There's rest for the mind. Right. There's way more creativity. It's just so much better. Mother works serving meals at a cafe on Main Street. I mean, it's just so much better. And you listen to this, right? And then there's the guitar solo. Hold on, where's the guitar solo? Right here. Hold on. Hold on. Way more creativity. It's Sabaton is. Hold on. Sabaton is. It's like it's just head banging on the desk. That's what Sabaton is. It's just head banging on the desk. Nickelback is like relaxation, gentle verse, slightly hard chorus, a soaring guitar solo, transition. Back to the slow, gentle guitar. Back to the same verse. There's a slight difference in the lyrics to convey a message of melancholy, a message of hurt, a message of bitterness, but at the same time, bittersweetness. And then it goes to the same chorus. The chorus is passionate. There's a passionate chorus there. This music is like it's a migraine. This is migraine music. That's what this is. It's complete migraine music. I don't know if I'm a Polish guy living in Poland and the Wehrmacht is invading my country. I really don't give a shit about the men executing orders. All I know is that there's a bunch of barbarian German hordes invading my country, and they're going to kill millions. That's what I know. Maybe they need to take some time off, live then they'll have something to write about. It's just crazy. This music sucks. I hate it. Nickelback is a superior band. It just is. It's a much more superior band. The Sabaton is garbage. It is. I'm sorry to say, it is Euro trash, white trash music. It's crap. It's complete garbage. That's my opinion on it. That's my opinion on it, guys. That's my opinion on it. It's the pure trouble. I love the name. Your comments aren't very creative. Let's see here. Why YouTube showed me this German video funny? Because I'm German. Guten Tag, Alex. Oh yeah. So I want to finish this live stream by. I knew I said I was going to finish the live stream by talking by playing a song, but yeah. I want to finish this live stream telling you guys a story about what happened to me last week. For the first time in my life, guys, for the first time in my life, I got pulled over. I got pulled over by, hold on a second. I got pulled over by the police because I was driving with a broken taillight. I was driving with a broken taillight. I had two friends with me. They were in the vehicle, and we were coming back from the pool. We were swimming at the pool, and I was driving. It was evening time, early evening time, and there was a police officer right behind me, and I thought, oh my God. And I'm not breaking any rules. I'm not breaking any laws. I'm good to go. I don't have to worry about this police officer doing anything to me. And all of a sudden, his siren lights started to flare up, and they were just flaring up these sirens. And I was like, oh my God. You know, this sudden feeling of fear and horror struck me, and I was like, "Oh my God, what's going on? I didn't break any rules. What's happening to me?" And I drove on the side of the road. I stopped my car. Police car stopped right behind me, and out comes this nice African American police officer. And I said, "How are you doing, officer? How are you doing, sir? What's the problem now? What's the problem, officer?" And the officer's like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "Man, you got a broken tail light in the back there." I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Yeah, I was meaning to fix that." And then he's like, "Can I see some ID?" I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So I gave him the ID. He said, "I'll be right back." Dude was doing a background check on me in his car for like 10 minutes. So we're sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And those siren lights are just blinking constantly. And you can see it. You can see its reflection all throughout the car. And it's going on and on. And my friend in the back of the car is like, why do police officers stop people for the stupidest shit? And I was like, dude, stop talking. Stop talking, because police officers, when they start hearing attitude, they're not that nice. With police officers, you got to be very nice. It's like that scene from Roadhouse. Be nice. You got to be nice. You have to be nice. And he just kept talking, and I was like, dude, stop talking. He's like, I don't understand. I'm like, you don't need to understand. Right now, you need to stop talking, because I don't want any attitude coming out of this car. So he stopped. Police officer came back, and he's like, hey, man, just put some red tape on that broken taillight and get that shit fixed. I'm like, absolutely, officer. You have a very good night, all right? All right, goodbye. And I just drove off very slowly, and I let out a big breath. And when he came over, I had my hands on the steering wheel because police officers hate it when you keep fidgeting with your hands. They hate that shit because they think that you're gonna have a gun, and I don't blame them because their jobs are very difficult, so they're always on edge. So I made sure my hands were always on the steering wheel. He came over, he asked me, and the only time I lifted my hands off the steering wheel was when he asked me for ID. I gave him the ID. He looked at it, and when he came back, I had my hands on the steering wheel. And he gave me a warning. He said, "I'm just going to give you a warning, and that's it. Just get this shit fixed." Okay, fine, officer. And then when I parked the car in front of my house, I remember saying, "I will appreciate every breath I take," because my fear was that I was going to get arrested. My fear was that I was going to get arrested, but it was just a broken tail light, and that was it, And I had my hands on the steering wheel. He asked me for ID. I gave him the ID. The ID was not expired, and I recently renewed my ID, and I complied with him. I was very polite with him. I was not an asshole with him, and the friend in the back was, expressing some attitude. I shut that down real fast. And you know what? Nothing happened. Nothing happened. We all got home safe. Nobody got arrested. Nobody got shot. You know why? Because we are compliant citizens. That's why. That's why. That's why, guys. All these people who are like, "I got shot by the police." Like, okay, what the hell were you doing? You know what I mean? It's like I remember there was a story in the tail lights fixed. I remember there was a story where it was in Chicago. Some Mexican guy named Toledo got shot and killed by a police officer, and they're like, "Justice for Toledo! Justice for Toledo!" And they have his picture all muraled up on the wall, and they make him look like a saint and all this horse shit. They're like, "Justice for Toledo! Justice!" And then you find out that Toledo had a gun. Toledo was with a cholo gangster who fired a bunch of rounds on a driver as he was driving his vehicle. Police officers showed up, told them to freeze. They ran away. Toledo had a gun. Toledo turned around. Officer didn't know whether or not Toledo was going to shoot at him. Didn't want to take any stupid chances. Shot and killed Toledo because the officer's life is more important than Toledo's. So fuck Toledo and fuck the stupid BLM movement because it's absolutely retarded and just stupid and evil, and I hate it. People who comply, people who follow the law, they're not going to have issues with police officers. People who have issues with police officers are people who are like, "I had a gun, I turned around, I got shot. Why? Why did I have to be shot?" Because you're an idiot. That's why. You're an idiot. You deserve to be shot. It's his bottom line. You're an idiot. For the most people, it's very rare that there is an unjust killing by a police officer, right? It has happened. Yes, there are cops who have done bad things, but for the most part, people who complain that they got shot by the cops or they got beaten up, they're just idiots. They're just idiots. I don't feel sorry for them, one iota. This cop came over. I was like, "Yeah, how you doing, officer?" "All right, sir. I'll get that shit fixed up." "Absolutely." "All right, you have a ID?" "Here's my ID." "Absolutely." Friend in the back's like, shut the fuck up. "How you doing, officer?" "All right, you have a good night. We're out." Yeah, play stupid games, exactly. Dang, U.S. cops are different. In Germany, they maybe stop you and just ask why your light is broken, and then you can keep driving. But if you are not nice, then they tow your car and can walk with your... Yeah, well, in America, you see, listen, this is a black police officer. So if I were to be racist against him, or if I were just to be nasty with him, then he would have been like, "Step out of the car." When he asked me for my driver's license, if I would have said, "Oh, F you, blah, 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 I'm going to give you shit," he would say, "Step out of the vehicle." And my ass would have been arrested. But no. Played it cool, complied, say, "I'll get that shit fixed." And he checked my background in his car. That's why it took him 10 minutes. He checked my background. He saw that I have no record. I have no criminal record. My ID even my driver's license even says that I need to be wearing glasses when I drive. I was wearing my glasses, so I am not like this criminal, who's just out to sell drugs and to kill people and all this bullshit. I'm not there to rob people. I was just driving some friends to the pool, and we were driving back home, and it just so happened that I had a busted taillight. And the taillight was busted because of the summer heat. That's the reason why it was busted. The heat, just every day, excessive heat, busted one of the taillights. And it wasn't like the light was broken. The light wasn't really broken. Yeah, actually it was broken. Never mind. Yeah, the taillight was busted. So I got a warning. Didn't get a ticket. And nobody died. Nobody got arrested. Everything's fine. Bottom line. I didn't pull some BLM bullshit. I didn't pull some Middle Eastern, I'm a proud Afro-American bull. I didn't pull that bullshit. Yeah, U.S. cops get a lot more respect than in Germany. It is almost a shame here with us. Really, I didn't know. I thought Germans were like really compliant. I thought Germans were really respectful people to the positions of authority. That's crazy. Can I super chat, brother? What? Super chat? I don't have any super chats on this chat, man. Well, I think maybe one day I should put up super chats. I'm not sure how to do it. I'll have to look into that. But anyway, yeah. I wanted to end the stream with that. I've been streaming for about 4 hours already, guys. So I'm going to get going. Have a good weekend. God bless.